And
We
I'm
are
like,
live.
Yeah. Hey, you're okay. You
Like
can just
to-
hang around in the scene. Yeah.
I have seen it before. I'm not
Yeah, exactly.
a stranger. No, but it's so. I
It-
think it's so convenient. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, but what? Like, what if you don't remember it's there? I'm like, oh, but it's always there.
But
It's
it
always
is there.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
Well, and it's
always
like
there.
it's a spot my kids can't reach.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
They never go in there.
Yeah.
That's
They know not to
important.
touch my passport, but
Yeah.
do they?
Do they?
You
Yeah.
know?
I
So-
put mine under my. I have like a little thing that holds my wallet, my keys and stuff, and
Yeah.
I just slip it right under that because I use it every day, but
And
I
then
never
you
touch the
know-
passport.
Yes.
But when I need to go, it's like
And you
right
know
there.
it's
Well,
always
and like
there.
I've been traveling enough recently
Yeah, yeah.
that I
You,
need
like,
to
you need
know
it,
where it
yeah.
is all the time, right? Like,
Yeah.
I get anxiety if like I can't leave it in the hotel room.
Oh,
like,
God.
I have to go back
See,
and.
I do, but
Like,
I always
you
try
know,
to find.
can't
I always
bring it in
find
my
creative
bag.
places to put it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I'll put it up behind a picture,
Oh
so
yeah.
like I
yeah.
never use the
You
safe.
find it.
Yeah.
I'll like hide it or
The
like.
safe is the most obvious thing.
Exactly.
If someone was gonna steal anything, they're gonna look at the
Well,
safe.
and
Yeah.
people that work there
Yeah, they
have access to all the safes because they have to.
Oh, do they really?
Well, in case
I
something
guess
like there's like
so.
the manager would have.
right. Yeah. Would have to
In
get, like,
case.
you'd have to have.
232. Nej, 232. Fick lite fel i början. Många avsnitt nu. Idag har vi BEACN på besök. Vi har, kanadensiskt besök. Så det kommer switcha över till engelska alldeles strax. Vi har som vanligt lite drops. Vi har lite tävlingar. Och jag tänkte be er att hålla frågorna på engelska, så kan vi förhoppningsvis få lite diskussion här med alla. Perfect! Hello guys!
Hello!
I was just talking shit about you.
Perfect,
yeah.
excellent.
I actually learned
I was
Swedish on the
thinking-
flight over,
Oh,
so
fun.
yeah.
You were talking shit about us. We were thinking shit about you. It's
Yeah.
fine. We're
Yeah,
all
yeah,
wrong.
we would
yeah.
never say it because, as you said, we're
We're too
Canadian.
polite,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for thinking. Yeah.
Nice. Welcome to the live stream, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna start by introducing you guys.
Cool.
So we have Grant and Craig. I'm thinking we start with you. Who are you and what do you do at BEACN?
Yeah, so I'm Grant. I'm the director of marketing for BEACN. I mean, that's just kind of everything marketing from, partnerships, sales channels and doing this stuff.
Yeah,
So,
perfect.
Yeah.
Could someone close the door because we're kind of hearing? Thank you so much.
I'll let Craig go.
Yeah, Craig.
Cool.
Please.
Hi, I'm Craig. I'm the CEO of BEACN. I pretend to be in charge and tend to try to wrangle the people who do the actual important work in the company. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
a bit of everything.
exactly.
love
Yeah,
it.
I do a little bit of everything, including support tickets every once in a while and shipping things.
Well, I
and,
mean, you actually have been, tinkering and doing all the settings for this live stream right now. So, I mean, we should thank you for doing such an amazing work with the sound.
Well, that's how we had the sound accidentally on at the beginning while we were talking about where Grant hides his passport. So, that was a little peek behind the curtain there.
That's why I switch it every time.
oh, it was actually about. I thought
Actually, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought we were joking.
No,
about
we were
it. Oh,
legitimately
was
talking
literally
about.
on,
I
yeah.
specifically said where I hit it in Stockholm when we were at the hotel.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
The timing is
Yeah, it was
Perfect.
Oh
So
my
if anybody
God.
needs a Canadian passport,
yeah, you know where to look. So maybe we should start with that. Actually, we're using your product this live stream.
Yeah.
We actually did a live stream like this a couple of years ago. I should have looked that up earlier. I don't remember when it was. It was maybe
23 maybe?
I think so.
23.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I think
2
so.
years. Yeah.
And that was
Time
remote,
flies.
right? Kyler
It was.
phoned
Yeah,
in
exactly.
from
Yeah,
Canada.
we did everything. Yeah, it was really nice. So we're using your product right now. We're using USB extenders. We set this up about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much. I mean, obviously you have experience, but still, it's pretty much plug and play.
Yeah, we don't do the 3 mics in one go all at once very often. So there was a little bit of crossing our fingers, but then I remembered that we were running a beta build and the beta build has support for more mics in it. So I was pretty excited to see
that's
it all just
amazing.
work. It was great.
I love it. Oh yeah, that's why we're doing the beta. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I mean we're
We did the thing that we tell everyone not to do, which is update the software 20 minutes before you go live and then cross your fingers. So don't do what we do.
Yeah, do beta is straight to production.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing. The sound is immaculate, not gonna lie. Oh, that's amazing, yeah.
Oh, that's
I was
great.
just
Thank you.
speaking to you guys, we had some sound problems 2 live streams in a row now, so I mean
Yeah.
this is a perfect opportunity to
Oh,
really
we just slide right in.
Yeah,
and
yeah, exactly. People are they want us to keep BEACN from now on.
Perfect.
Perfect. Deal, you can have it.
Yeah, amazing. So for today, we're gonna have some product review. We're gonna go through your lineup, obviously,
Cool.
and if you guys have any questions regarding the product or in general, or I don't know about anything, you can just ask them in the chat per usual. And then we're obviously gonna have some campaign prices going on. That's gonna be 6:30, and maybe a giveaway or 2 as well.
Yeah. They were just telling us to elbows up. So
Elbows
we were.
up.
Yeah.
Canadian stuff.
Main questions: are they made in Canada? It depends on if you mean the products or the person, but
I was definitely made in Canada.
Yeah,
At least
individually,
my
I think-
parents tell me that is the case.
I
Yeah.
think my mom's watching because she just messaged me a bit ago, and I'm 99.9% sure. So am I.
yeah. And the slight chance of we're
Who
not
knows?
gonna go
I mean,
into
you
that,
never
but
know.
yeah,
You
sure.
never know, right? Yeah.
What does elbows up actually mean? Typically it's like a hockey thing. So you're playing hockey and you put your elbows up to, get people out of the way.
Right,
So that's generally it. I'm not a huge hockey person. Grant is
we
more
don't-
of a
I mean,
hockey
yeah,
person.
we
than I
don't. Yeah, there's a whole other meaning, but we don't need to go into it.
We do apologize for beating Sweden in the game the other day, but we lost to Finland.
We lost to Finland
so
before.
it all works out.
It equals out, definitely.
Yeah. But, the products. Yes, I guess
Yes,
we
the
should say.
product.
I mean, all of the products are fully designed in Canada. We make our two mixers, the BEACN Mix Create and BEACN Mix, in Canada, in Burnaby, BC. And then we make our microphone with our partner in China. We've been partners with them for, well, at this company the whole time, and then for like another 10 years with the company we were at before that, and they've been around since the 1970s. Yeah. So it's kind of neat to be a partner with a company that has a lot of legacy there that we can feel good about. They treat their employees well, and things are. It's a nice place to be. So sometimes that the Chinese manufacturer ends up with a bit of a dirty word, feeling to people, but it's actually, we have a really great relationship with that manufacturer. Nice. And then they help us make BEACN Studio as well, which they make in their Taiwanese factory. All right. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's actually, I want to start with, how, when you started the company and how you started, and a little bit of background regarding that.
Yeah. So, how long you got? I can talk for an hour. Okay, we'll try and do the condensed version of everything.
Yeah, the short version.
So short version was, all of us at BEACN, or a lot of us at BEACN, came from a company called TC Helicon that used to be part of TC Electronics. So a lot of people might know them for making guitar pedals and things like that. We made voice processors for singers. So we had this experience with real-time voice processing for people who were on a stage. And I was working as a product manager there, and was also watching Twitch off the side of my desk when it was quite new. It was just past Justin TV time. And so I sucked at Hearthstone, and I wanted to learn how to get better. So I'm watching these streamers, and I just started noticing how many of them had a struggle with audio, and started looking at, for lack of a better analogy, all of these Lego bricks of professional audio stuff that we knew how to do that just weren't shaped right for doing a live stream in front of an audience on the internet. So I had this hunch that maybe there was a problem. Went to TwitchCon in 2016 and met with all of these streamers that were, it was not yet a big fan show at that point. I mean, it was, but it wasn't like people driving Lamborghinis in and that whole thing, right? And so I got a chance to talk to all these streamers, and I just came up and I said, "Hi, I'm Craig. I work for a tech company. What's your biggest pain in the ass technically when you do streaming?" I didn't say audio to any of them, and every single one of them said audio back to me.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So that led to going across the street with a group of streamers that were probably much more famous than I knew they were at the time, and sitting down with a piece of cardboard and a Sharpie and designing a product that became Go XLR. And that product did very well as sort of the first interface and controller for streaming specifically. During the time that Go XLR was being sort of designed and put out, there was an acquisition of the entire TC group by a different company. I'll just say different. And that different company culturally was a very big mismatch. It just, things started changing a lot in a way that I didn't feel good about. So eventually I ended up leaving that job as Go XLR was going all crazy, which really kind of sucked to have to do that. But, I did, and then got together with who became my co-founder, my friend Daniel. So he's the smarty pants engineering guy, and I'm the arm waving tube man. And so we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could start a company that essentially almost became the opposite of what we were experiencing. We wanted people first, and we wanted to, build all the products with care and with all of the customers in mind. And we love just sourcing all the ideas from the people who use them. So we were very fortunate to be able to get some investment and things like that, and then started up BEACN in 2020. We decided to make our microphone and our mixer to start out with. It takes about 2 years to make a hardware product. So 2022 is when we launched the products into the market, and then we've been going strong ever since.
It's amazing. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, how fast that actually happened. Like, it was insane. Like, all of a sudden you just heard, you heard about BEACN, and then it just became like a huge thing. Like, everyone was just buzzing about it.
I appreciate that.
It really happened. Like, I told, like, we were having lunch earlier, and I talked like how I got to know about it at first, and I got one of our viewers slash ambassadors at Inet. He was, messaging me each day, like, when are you bringing in BEACN? It's the next big thing, like, you guys need to take it, and it's funny to, end up here a couple of years later with you in the studio.
Super flattering to hear that. It's so great.
It's real cool. And as you can hear, we're using your product right out of the box. So this is you're getting the true experience right away. So that's super nice. And how long does it take for, obviously we talked about that earlier on the lunch, but how long does it take from like, okay, I want to make this product happening to coming to, you know, actually having it on the shelf? Like, what's the process of doing the... Generally,
it's 18 to 24 months. And the reason behind it is that everything that we design is from scratch. So you typically look at you know, how do you take an electronic product and go from an idea to working PCBs and processors and all that kind of stuff. So everything that we do is all on our own. Everything was designed from nothing up to what we want. So all of the algorithms and all the layouts and all the specs of everything are all things that we define and then try and meet those targets and then fail to and swear and wrap it in duct tape and try again and you know, fail electronic testing and then try again and, you know, do all these things and basically it's just a process of trying to take the idea that we loved and actually put it into something real, and generally it takes about that amount of time.
All right. It's super interesting for so someone who doesn't do anything about that.
I think cool. Often it's a lot longer than people think. You know, they're like, wait, it didn't take 6 months, and you're like, oh man, it took 6 months just to get to like the layout part done,
exactly,
and then you got to get the first test, and then it doesn't work the way you want, or you know, something was done wrong, and then you try again, and
I think it's also interesting to think about it in terms of sometimes you think it might be less time, especially if you're a larger company or like, or you have a product in the market already. You know, when we launched, we were launching a brand and products at the same time. So it was kind of wild.
I mean that's definitely gonna be interesting.
And
especially
the size too. So like we're
how did you try and I guess, you know, you're launching the brand and you're, you know, saying we're gonna do this. How do you like meet that expectations?
Like our own expectations, or
I guess the customers as well. You know,
well, I mean, we kind of set,
especially you know, going from, you know, coming from the background with sound. You know, you kind of have a expectation to deliver something. How do you know, meet that?
I think we wanted to make sure that like we have the skills to meet the specification goals, if you want to call it that way. And we knew we had to do some of that because we wanted the equipment to be tangibly good, you know, like just objectively good quality. But then a lot of the stuff that we add onto it has nothing to...
Oh, that was the...
I'm throwing stuff around. Has nothing... oh, look. My lovely assistant. Thank you very much. Most of the things that we are the most proud of are the things that are the features that we've been able to bring to the table that help streamers do an easier and better job of doing what they do, so we can kind of get out of their way. So I think the stuff that is the most exciting is that we literally just like source all of the ideas from people we talk to. And you'll hear the same problem like 50 times in all different words with all different levels of understanding of what they want or what they're looking for, you know, right from the very technical person to the, I just wanted to do this. And then it's kind of our job to sort of pass it around internally to try and figure out what do they really mean and what do they really want, and then go back again and again and again to all the users and say, hey, is this right? Is this what you're looking for? Or maybe, hey, we thought of this thing that's slightly different than what you thought you might want. We think this might actually be a good solution. And then we have a really big Discord community and stuff. We talk to them all the time. So that's sort of what leads us, you know, from point A to point B.
Interesting. So I actually forgot to ask that. How many of you guys are using BEACN at home right now? And
that'd be interesting to know.
Do you have any feedback? Here's your chance. A question we got is, so the main customers are streamers. Is that?
Generally. I think we it's easy to say like, oh, you make a microphone, so it should be for podcasting too, or for work from home, or for any of the other things. And it's, it can be. But we put most of our focus on that we're a small brand. You know, there's not a lot of us. We don't have an enormous amount of people to throw at specializing and doing as well at those things as we would want to then officially sort of say, this is a mic for podcasting. Well, if it was, I would be thinking of a whole bunch of features that would help podcasters specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
So we go, okay, no, we have to focus, and we'll start off with the thing we know the best, which is working a lot with these streamers to make the online broadcast, I guess, if you were to just put it in a creator bucket,
yeah, exactly.
you know, to make that easier and better for them. And then as we grow, we can start spreading those things out.
Yeah,
but we do know people who use BEACN mics for like wild things that you wouldn't think of. Like I do, you know, therapy. I'm a psychologist.
Oh, really?
And
like
yeah,
lawyers.
not me, but you know, we have people,
no, I mean,
like
obviously.
lawyers.
I mean, I'm also a psychologist.
I mean,
right.
yes, you were talking earlier today about this idea that, you know, for a lawyer, they charge $400 an hour or whatever it is. You know, they'd better sound pretty good if you're taking a call with them.
fair
You know,
enough.
they want to elevate everything. So
Yeah.
it's not one of those things that we necessarily, they're not the target.
Yeah.
But
it
they
just-
could be a benefactor.
Yeah,
right?
it just happens.
It's,
yeah,
it's the, oh, cool, that person's using it for that. That's wild.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, speaking of, there's a bunch of people who hasn't heard about you guys earlier. If you would put, you know, what's BEACN and what do you stand for, and you know, like for a person who never heard about you before.
I think we stand for trying to run a company in a way that we feel good about it. Like we're about people. We're about interacting with other people. We're about being upfront and transparent and honest, and we make mistakes, and sometimes there's bugs, and sometimes it's great, and you know, it's just it's life, right? And I think I as the leader of the company, I really want to see everyone who is a part of it and a part of what's surrounded by it succeed, you know, and I think it's really neat to see people who want to come to work, who want to put in, you know, the effort to help the people, and genuinely, it sounds cheesy, but helping people is so satisfying. Like when you can take something that you know, or that you can collect the knowledge on, and then help somebody by giving it to them, it just feels good, you know. So part of that motivator is that, you know, I have a 13-year-old son, and I'm like, I want to run a company that I would feel like he's proud of what we're doing, no matter how small or big or long or short that it is. That you'd rather kind of say we're going to stick to what we feel is right, and do that all the way, rather than compromising everywhere just to make an extra $10 or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
We were talking about that earlier as well.
Yeah.
It's a bit similar to how Inet operates as well. It's really like customer focused.
Yeah.
And I would also say, just on one of the comments too, is, you know, to answer one of them, is kind of the even further step back if anyone is kind of just tuning in or didn't know.
Yeah.
We're a team of just under 10 from the west coast of Canada. Most of our team is from Victoria, British Columbia.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's kind of like the really, you know, really
The
big
basics
picture
of it, yeah.
the real basics. But yeah, and then everything that Craig said in terms of our values.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. I think like if people didn't know anything, but microphones, that's, you know, the main thing that you create.
Yeah, I would say audio.
Software.
Yeah, solutions.
Yeah, it's sort of an ecosystem, I guess.
Yeah.
We wanted to take the tech we were able to make and think about the two portions of somebody doing creation that needed to be tackled, which was, I want to sound good on the way in.
Yeah.
And I need to control all of the stuff that's in the computer on the way out. The need to do that is a little backwards from what I think a lot of people would assume. So when I say mixer, right, people go, oh, you make a mixer. And you go, yeah. And then, you know, the mixer has like one USB-C port on the back.
Yeah.
People go, well, where are all the inputs and the outputs?
Yeah.
And you say, all of the inputs are the fact that everything that you need to control is already inside your computer.
Yeah.
It's your game and your music and your chat and your system sounds and your chat, your stream alerts and your mics and all that. So we really took this approach of, how do we take our audio expertise, so in this real-time processing that we used to do at TC Helicon and learned how to do, to process the microphone before it goes to the computer.
Yeah.
Right. So we always joke, we get in these funny little fights between XLR and USB. Right. So part of the challenge that we took on for ourselves was, let's make a USB mic that isn't shitty. So
honest, I was so worried about that when I first tried out your product.
Absolutely.
Especially, you know, going, I think we did the exact same setup. We were going live in like 2 hours and we're, you know, plugging in and everything. And we had a call with one of your guys. And I was just like, okay, yeah, this is going to shit, you know. Like, I was so worried. I was like doing, you know, the extensions of the USB. And I was like, whew, this is going to be interesting. But as you guys can see, like, you know, it's amazing. Really. Like, obviously, we've been tuning it a little bit. We can show you in the software later. We're going to do like a run through of that. But yeah, tell us more about like why you went with USB instead of XLR and what's, you know.
XLR has been known as quality because you typically get it from the music industry, not because of the cable connection on it. It's just that generally the quality is higher when you're going to a dedicated music store versus going to a, you know, a small shop or something to get a mic. So we looked at it and said, you know, the average computer user who is going to be using our stuff is going to be plugging it in via USB. So why don't we just make a good USB mic? And with our electronic design capabilities, well, we design the preamp, we design the processing, we design the digital analog converters, you know, and we design the headphone amp and all these things. So we go, well, we'll just make it good. And the joke is always that, you know, you see somebody who has an SM7B or something like that, or an RE20, you know, they say, oh, this is a great mic, it's XLR. And we say, is it connected to your computer? And I say, yeah. And you say, well, you have a USB mic then. They're like, no, I don't. I'm like, yes, you do. You've got a cable that goes from a capsule to a converter, and the converter goes to USB, and then goes to your computer. You got a USB mic. And bothers them a little bit sometimes, but we just go, look, I have a capsule, and then I have a teeny tiny little XLR cable because we only needed a centimeter of it to get to our preamp, and then it goes to our stuff and gets converted and put out. So the goal was to sort of prove a little bit the industry wrong, that it could be good. And then the benefit, obviously, to having all of the processing inside the mic. So just so you know, we've got, you know, EQ, compression, de-essing, gating, noise suppression, all of that stuff is built in real time. It lets you listen to it in real time too. So there's none of that, like, go to the computer, add a bunch of filters, record it, see if it sounds good, send it back, make a tweak. You put on your headphones and you hear exactly what the mic is doing in real time, and you can just make the adjustments there. And it's a really big benefit to not have to waste time, right? And again,
definitely.
You're just saving time for the person who doesn't want to think about audio. They just want to go do it and go play their game or do their stream.
Sounds better than most streamers with a Shure SM7B connected to a shitty audio interface.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, we are using BEACN mics, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're using.
And the mic stands as well.
And the stands.
The low-profile mic stands for anyone wondering if that's the same thing.
Very nice.
Yes,
it is. Yes, it is. And obviously, I've seen a lot of questions like, oh, maybe I should start using the microphone. I would say wait till 6:30 for some.
Don't buy anything yet.
Just wait a little bit.
Do you mind if I mention one of the other questions that I saw? Just come through really quickly.
Yeah, of course.
So, as Craig said before, we've been out since January 31st of 2022. And someone was asking if you know, how long do we support the products?
At least a week.
At least a week. Definitely 1 week.
Minimum 1 week.
We with this public beta that we were talking about just recently, we are bringing like brand new features that we haven't seen before, right to all of the products that we released, you know, 3 years ago. So we are very, very focused on making sure that that, you know, you buy this and you are happy with it because you're getting the support from our team, even after you buy. Like, we still want you to hang out with us. Someone asked if we have a Discord, and we can put that up later. But you know, that's a place where we as a team hang out. And help out. So
Exactly. It's, I mean, I was just about to say that. I mean, you're still on your first microphone. It's still being, you know, updated. So
we're not a phone company, right? So there's no need for us to replace a mic a year after you buy the first one. Like, we might make a different mic for a different purpose or a different, you know, level or features or something, but it doesn't mean that you know, as soon as that happens, that like this thing is obsolete. Like, that's, again, probably our history in the music industry is people keep mics for a fairly long time. Like, we don't want somebody to feel like it sucks all of a sudden. It should be good for a while.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Do your mic
questions?
Yeah, very many. Do your mic software have any sort of noise cancellation in it?
Yeah, so we do. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure.
This is fun. I like him taking the noise suppression one.
I don't know. Yes, no, I do know. So we have a patented adaptive noise suppression algorithm that one of our engineers made. Where's Lars from?
Denmark.
He's Denmark,
he's
right?
Danish,
yeah. So he is like our big brain.
Yeah.
And he wrote this algorithm. And the whole idea is that, I mean, you can, if you're in the app and you're trying to use it, you can either use it as a snapshot or have it adaptive, where it basically listens to your environment, and it's going to take out, kind of like steady noise. So something like, PC fan, if it were to kick
if it
up,
didn't have a straw stuck
if
in
it
it.
wasn't if it wasn't so awesome. But yeah, so it'll take out those sorts of things. It's not meant to take out like hammering on your desk or something.
Yeah.
But it's meant to take out steady state noise.
Yeah.
So anything that's really consistent, and that's going to be listening to your environment all the time. So yes, in the app, for the mic, and with someone asked about BEACN Studio, which is our XLR interface. You'll get the adaptive noise suppression built that's built into both products using the app.
And those run real time.
Yeah, we're talking about that.
Yes, they're
exactly.
real time processing.
Yeah, you were talking about that before, like where you don't need OBS or anything like that. You can just use your software, and it's gonna output whatever you need.
Exactly, and it's not a load on the system either, right? So because the processing's in the mic, you're not taxing your system.
It's all on board for the
about
mic in the studio. So.
But it's interesting too, when people talk about noise suppression, they often do sort of mistake it with the idea of like the NVIDIA voice of, my dog's barking and there's hammering and what he was saying. And it's like, from our perspective, you're maybe doing it a bit wrong if you have like all this chaos going on.
Like, put it to the test.
Put the dog out there,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but should we put it to the test right now? Did we
right now? Just smash it.
Yeah,
we have to set. What we would do is we would set the expander instead.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You'd set the expander. But so our noise suppression is actually more geared towards how do you remove, like, as those fans get louder.
Yeah.
How do you remove that while doing the least amount of damage to the voice that's there, right? So we try very little to step on that and have that underwatery sort of sound that happens. So it's funny because it's not like the most impressive demo of, oh, listen, you can't hear the hammer anymore. But then the more falls like this. It's like, okay. But ours is more like your air conditioner turned on and nobody noticed. Nothing changed. From the outside, it was just the same. And then it turned off again and it was still the same.
The fidelity of your voice.
It was
stayed.
Definitely. You were having a question there you wanted to...
I mean, there's a few. There's so many really great ones there.
Was it about the stand one?
About the stand. So first of all, Thrill House. That's a great reference. I love Thrill House.
What's Thrill House? I feel out of the loop.
It's Millhouse, and he gets to make his own name, and he calls himself Thrill House.
Well, it must have been on one of the spooktaculars or something, right?
I think it was, Anyway, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
And you're asking, is our mic stand better than the competition? We looked at a lot of competition, and we decided to make our mic stand in a certain way. So first of all, it is low profile. And we have a 3-inch riser that you can add to it if you want it to kind of stick up a little bit higher for you. We all have them without the risers at the moment, but it's optional. But one of the things we really looked at was actually cable management. So we have kind of these flaps, these like, I don't know.
Like squishy flaps.
Squishy flaps, like rubberized flaps underneath. And the whole idea is that...
are you going to dare to take it apart? Here it goes.
Maybe. Drop down.
Yeah.
There you go. So they're sturdy without being, not. You can't just like pull on them and they fly out.
Yeah. But they also don't cut your fingers.
They don't
when you
cut
put
your
them
fingers
in,
when you try to get them in.
Like the first ones we made.
Like the first ones, yeah. We went through prototypes, which is why we landed on these ones.
You got your cable in between there. There you go.
There we go.
But
destroying the sound live.
Yes, exactly. That's perfect. It's a great example. Yeah. Hopefully, no one heard that. But yeah, I mean, so for us, I mean, that really mattered to us, is having a clean setup, making sure that everything matched, your aesthetic, that you like, people, it's painstaking for people. They spend so much time on cable management. So that was something we put a lot of thought into.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a low profile mic arm, it is definitely a high quality, low profile mic arm.
Range of motion, it's got a ball joint.
Yes.
So I don't know how you want it to be, but if you want to you know, it goes
In
everywhere.
whatever way.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice clunks there for you. Yeah. Yeah, kind of goes every direction.
Oh, people are already asking for stands for monitors and stuff like that. Maybe it's the
Maybe
3D prints and attachment.
Yeah. Oh,
Except that would snap. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Trust us. We're Canadian. That's all. If you take anything
They
from
all
this,
believe it.
it's that. We've tricked them.
Yeah.
That's amazing. The black one you can hardly see, but the
Yeah,
white one
actually,
looks really clean.
That's a great question though. Is AC
nice
and
one,
keyboard? So with the adaptive noise suppression, so AC could take care of that. But then when you start thinking about keyboard sounds, you start talking about an expander.
Yeah, it'd be more like managing the expander gate.
So you
know,
can talk about that if you want to.
It's a fine balance for sure, because you have to have it so that the gate is set enough that it will, you know, block out the keys and then yet still trigger effectively when your voice
I think
goes
that's
in.
a super good question. And,
Yeah.
and let's say, you know, someone is new to live streaming
Yeah.
and they want to, you know, set up a live stream that's good enough. They're going to have the microphone. They're going to have like a, I don't know, a clicky keyboard.
Yeah.
What should they do? And if they need help, where should they go? Maybe
Often
to a
positioning
certain
of the
Discord.
mic can help. So understanding, somebody was asking about polar pattern, right? So a polar pattern just means kind of like, what's the bubble that comes out of the mic that picks up the sound? And some of them will capture a smaller area. Some of them capture more from behind as well. So when you're using a pattern that they would call cardioid or supercardioid or hypercardioid, they have these various different amounts of rejection. And we have a cardioid pattern in ours, so it's kind of like a bubble that comes out the front. It rejects pretty well from the back and the sides. If you go to something like a supercardioid or hypercardioid, they actually let a little sound in from the back, but they let less in from like 90 degrees. So a keyboard directly below one can actually be pretty good, but then if you put the back of the mic facing the keyboard, it'll pick up worse.
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes it's a matter of kind of experimenting with your own mic and just going like, hey, 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 around to the side to just try and I realize I'm saying hi to everybody in Sweden. You know, going around to the side and figuring out where the actual position is best relative to the angle that your mic is on the keyboard. And then you can use some of the tools like an expander or a noise gate that you can set up a threshold at which basically when the signal is this loud, the sound comes through. When it goes below being that loud, the sound gets reduced or completely eliminated, and that can help for not making noise with the keyboard when you're not speaking, because quite a difference in level will happen. When you're talking, you're typing on your keyboard and talking, it's going to be there in the background to some extent, and that's more about the positioning of it that will do that rejection. So it's a little bit of just experiment and see, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love it. We got another question that was just above, but we'll take it. Yeah, I said that earlier when we were before we're going live. We will miss questions, and if you have questions that you feel that hasn't been answered, just ask them again, and we'll answer them for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, and I loving the knowledge about sound. I mean, if you have any questions about sound, ask us. We love talking about that stuff. I mean, you know, you were asking, you know, is there a guide? Is there somewhere good to look?
Yeah.
You know, there are some great guides out there. You know, in the future we're looking at making some even better ones. But we love talking about sound. I mean, like, we could do it for the entire stream. We don't need to, but we could.
I was just like thinking, like, obviously, if you get like a BEACN mic, I think apart from the Inet Discord, obviously, you'll get great guidance and help from your Discord as well. Do you have like an official link, like discord.gg?
I think it was in there.
One just went up, but it would be discord.gg/BEACN. BEACN.
Yeah,
exactly.
And there's like 13,000-ish users or 12,000-ish users in there.
Speaking of, where does the name come from?
Oh, the origin story.
Yes.
Sure.
We did get that question before, and now got me thinking.
So BEACN's full name as a company is Beacon Hill Innovations Limited. And so they're like, what the heck does that mean? There's a park in Victoria, BC, where the company is called Beacon Hill Park. A lot of the people who have grown up there have fond memories of picnics or going to the petting zoo and getting headbutted by a baby goat. You know, those kinds of things.
There's peacocks there.
Yeah, there's peacocks.
It's very close to our office.
Yeah, and it's quite near where our office is. So when we were trying to think of names for the company, we thought, oh, like if we could relate it to Beacon Hill in some way, that would be kind of neat. But then you start thinking about as a brand name, it just sounds clumsy, I guess. I don't know. It's just not the right thing.
A little,
yeah. So we thought, oh, well, we'll shorten it to Beacon. And then it's like, well, good luck getting a domain name that is spelled in correct English ever again for the history of time. So we just dropped the O and made it Beacon like that, which then, of course, people say bacon.
Right
and, you know, there you go. Sounds suspiciously close to bacon.
Right on time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So once we kind of landed on Beacon, then I don't know where the most obvious of our logos is. It's probably actually on one of the fans, but like the little logo for Beacon there is actually supposed to be like a brazier, like a beacon of Gondor type idea, right? So our whole thing was to not drop phones in the background. Our whole thing was to sort of like, if we can be a beacon to the streamers that are out there, and then they kind of light their fire and they go to their community who light their fires. And I don't know, it's just kind of neat to think of it from that way. Yeah. Yeah, and Kevin Beacon is great, and I don't know how many degrees of Kevin Beacon we would have if we were trying to connect ourselves to him.
Can't be that many.
Yeah. Yeah, Gondor calls for aid. Exactly.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Is there any connection to the streaming service Beacon? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Beacon, the streaming service.
There's like beacons.ai or something like that.
Beacons.io.
Or IO, yeah.
They're the ones who do the like links, like link pages or something.
Nothing to do with us, and I think it came out hopefully after us, but I don't know. Yeah, not that we know of.
We went through went through all the proper channels when we did the name stuff, so that's all we know.
All right, I have a question for chat then, for all you lovely folks. So for those of you who are not streamers and all that, how often do you still feel like audio is a pain in your butt? And what is it about audio that is a pain in your butt? Because I would love to see the answers to those questions.
And if you say it's our live stream, you're going to get banned.
You can get out of here.
Yeah.
No.
Plus, that's not a thing anymore because now you have Beacon here.
Exactly. No, it is funny. We always have a problem with audio. It's
always Microsoft.
Yes, true. Craig, tell the Microsoft story.
Story time. That's right. Oh, and speaker audio. Here we go. Okay, cool.
These are great segues.
So, it's leading right into like, now I can talk about the products more. The Beacon Mix Create product that we have, right, which, I was sort of saying to you, it brings all of the sounds you've got in your computer out. It's like, well, how do you do that? We create a whole bunch of virtual audio devices. So Windows thinks that they're pieces of hardware, but we name them things like game, music, chat, system, and then you can assign a program to that hardware device. And we can take then all those hardware devices into a mixer and mix them however we want, and then send them out to the stream or to you as a different mix from what your stream hears, all that kind of stuff. And the interesting part of it is that Microsoft has the way it deals with USB enumeration, right? So when you plug in a USB device, it has to go, okay, what is this thing? I have to make it like on the list in my audio devices. It has to add system and chat and the Logitech mic and the new Elgato thing and whatever. It has to add everything in there, plus your monitors and things you have turned on. And Windows was really struggling with when you unplugged a device and then plugged it back in, it would take forever to go away and then forever to come back. And for like a year, we thought it was us. Like, oh my God, if a customer unplugs the product, everything slows down, and like we just have to wait like 5 minutes sometimes, and you're going, what's going on in here?
That's nice.
And finally, we tried and we tried and we tried and we tried, and then we were like, maybe it isn't us. So Thomas, our support guy, who is the sweetest guy in the world, reached out via LinkedIn to a person who said they were an engineer at Microsoft. Just random message,
Really?
Hi, I'm from Beacon.
That's amazing.
We're wondering about audio, device enumeration, and we're having this problem. We think it might be you, and would you be interested in like connecting us with somebody internally at Microsoft that might be able to help us? And of course, like small, tiny little company, we don't think we're going to get a response. This guy messages Thomas back a couple weeks later and says, I work at Microsoft. I work on audio in Windows, and send me your gear and we'll try and figure it out. So we
really?
Hopefully this isn't a scam, send a whole set of gear over to this person, and kept in touch. And 6 or 8 months later, he came back and said, I finally had a chance to test it all and figure it out. And it was us. It was Windows. And so they went about putting in this big patch into 24H2 that came out in November that actually fixes a lot of enumeration issues for USB for like all brands and companies. So we felt pretty cool. Like, hey, we helped out, and it made it better for everyone by doing that. Yeah, it was pretty great.
Actually,
the DAC thing is an interesting one.
The DAC thing. Finding a good DAC seems to be difficult. Using Okay, cool. So a DAC, a digital audio converter, people will often use it in the same language as like headphone amp, you know, a USB headphone amp. And when I plug it in, it essentially gives me a thing I can plug my headphones into. And generally people who are looking to buy a DAC are spending, you know, money on it because they want higher quality output, more power, better specs and all that kind of stuff. When we were talking with people before we made BEACN mic, we had that exact same question because we knew we could put a headphone output on the mic itself and we were going to design it. So, well, what DACs do you guys use? You know, what do you like? And Dragonfly came back a whole bunch of times. So we just did the thing you do, which is you buy one and you tear it open and you find the chips they're using and stuff. And we built ours based on the same types of components that they did to try and make sure that if you have a pair of DT990s and you want to power those, you know, really hungry bear dynamics, then you just plug them into a BEACN mic and they work. And so that was part of the we can gold plate it kind of idea, you know, that we will put things and make it real.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you can kind of see it right on this side, but it's just the headphone plug-in. Yeah. But it's a really powerful headphone amp that's powering that, or that can power other headphones through that. Yeah. So yeah, if you're attached to your DAC, then that's one thing. Yeah.
And you can select your DAC as an output of the system. You just can't get the real-time monitoring of your mic because it would then have to go into the computer and come back, and then you get the the latency thing. It's really annoying. Yeah.
I'm bringing some other questions here. That's why I put up my phone.
Oh, you've got like a secret little other set of questions there. Okay.
I can scroll the chat here a little bit easier.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, we got a lot of questions in regards to what software is supported, like Linux, Android, iPhone. So what?
Windows predominantly. We do support Mac. It generally lags a little bit behind in kind of the feature updates because we focus. You know, about 95% of the customers are on Windows to begin with, so we focus there. We don't support Linux, so everybody can boo and start throwing things now. But for how large a company we are, we just can't do it. Like it's just too much of a lift to try and support all of these operating systems.
There's the boo. There come the boos.
Let's start running out with like banana peels and things. Yeah. And then for phones and that kind of stuff, we don't support them largely because of two sort of reasons. Requiring drivers for a bunch of mixing and things like that and support makes it tricky to just make it work with an iPhone. The other side of it is the power requirements of the microphone often make the phone grumpy, and it just says like too much power draw. So you can luck out sometimes, like an Android device will work with it, or an iPad or something, and then another one won't because it just doesn't like how much power draw it has.
Yeah, we're also working on some updates on our end.
Somebody flipped the table.
Oh no!
Perfect. I mean, it's your table, so we can't.
I'm at my own house flipping my own table.
That doesn't affect us. I was gonna say I'm sorry, but that's so stereotypical. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You're sorry, Grant.
I'm sorry about your
I'm so sorry. No, but like we're making strides on our end as well to make it more compatible with more things right out of the box.
Yeah.
So I don't know how deep you want to go into that, or if you do, but the idea being that it should be able to interact more easily with more devices just by plugging it in and not needing to make changes.
Yeah. So we'd like to update the firmware to be able to be class compliant if people, use that term, but it's essentially no drivers. The thing will just show up as BEACN mic and BEACN headphones and just work with the computer until you decide to then get the software and tweak things further from there. So that's sort of a next step in the next little while. It's interesting. I've seen a whole bunch of questions that are kind of related to software things. Do you think it would be good to show a little bit?
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
It's a good time.
Yeah. Let's
hey,
do
look,
that,
there
actually.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, now I can take my special mouse over. Woo! Okay. So do we have the chat still available for us to see as this goes on, or do you want to just do it on the phone?
I'll just do it on the phone. Okay. Yeah. I'll try and keep up. But yeah, we'll show the software right now. Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll start with the mic stuff, and then we'll work our way to the mixer stuff because it's kind of two different portions of the same software.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
So what you see right here is our BEACN app. I'm going to start by going into what you would see in the mic page. So hopefully people won't get too scared off right away. I'll go with our mic setup here. So basically what you see in front of you is our equalizer, our bass enhancer, which is like, it's not just turn up the muddiness. It's actually a really cool technique of compressing and separating audio and bringing it back together again. But it basically gives you like that radio voice. You know, it gives you that rumbly chest feeling without it being muddy and gross, basically. We have a harmonic exciter, which some of you may have heard of and some may not have. A harmonic exciter is really interesting. It's actually distortion on purpose. Oh. But it's distortion that is pleasing to the human ear. And that distortion actually happens. I'm actually on the wrong mic, so you guys can't see me bouncing up and down.
Can you
change it to the one you're talking on?
Yes.
I bet it's that one.
Yep.
There it is. Okay. Harmonic distortion is something they often put on vocals in like a mix for like a band when they're recording it. It's pleasing to the human ear and is identifiable. It kind of makes it stand out a little bit without adding a whole bunch of like treble, if you use that word. It's like that airiness, that sparkle, but it helps you stand out against other sounds. So when we think of, you know, a band playing and there's guitars and keyboards and synths and drums and bass and all these things, the voice has to actually stand out through that, and some harmonic excitement, that little bit of distortion sounds good and makes you like kind of key in on the voice.
Yeah.
So when we were designing the mic, we thought, well, that same thing applies when you're doing a mix of things like game sounds and music and stream alerts and all the other things that are going on when you're streaming. So a little bit of excitement actually helps. And that's actually like this little thing you can kind of see going woohoo up there at the top. That's the exciter, and this little thing down here is the
want to hear it. They wanna see if
yeah,
you
for
can,
sure. So the exciter's pretty like minimal. Like if I turn it off, you probably won't even notice at this point. Like it's very, very subtle. The bass enhancement, if I turn that down to 0, you probably do hear some of the low end, especially if you have headphones or something on right now. You probably hear some of that low end just sort of go away out of my voice. But we generally try and use these as fairly subtle effects. A full suite of EQ is here, and when people look at EQ, they get so scared. And EQs get wildly all over the place, and it's hilarious. I'm going to give you guys some tips for EQ that at least that I've been taught over the years, but also kind of show you why we think we're helping a little bit. If you look at these chunks that we have in the EQ, I've turned on this little thing called guide, right? And it just makes these little chunks here. We've tried to show people what could be good if you adjust or add some level in that area or cut it away, or what could be bad that you're trying to cut away. And that's why there's multiple words in each one of those sections. So if you're in here at the sort of 80 to 180 hertz kind of range, you might add some warmth to your voice. If you feel like your voice is fairly thin sounding, it might add some warmth, but it might make it boomy. Right. So to understand that it could do either of those things in that section gives you a bit of a map, a roadmap to get where you want to go. It could add some nice resonance in this frequency, but it could make it sound kind of boxy, and sort of honky a little bit. Right. So we thought that it would help to make it a little less confusing when you can see words that are related a bit to the type of sound that you hear.
Yeah.
And then the trick that I'll give you, because a lot of people really struggle with EQ, and this is one that I was taught many, many years ago. I'm going to add a band of EQ just so I have a new one. So I just hit add band, and now I have a new EQ, right? You can hear it get all weird when I talk. Okay, there you go. If you take a filter that's like this, right? It's like the little camel hump thing. And I'm going to make it very, very narrow, which means like the little, that's wide, sorry, wrong way. That the peak that it makes is very pointy, right? Like this. If there's something about your voice and you just don't like it, but you don't know what it is, you're like, there's something in there. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't identify it. I can't say that's 2000 hertz. I just don't know what it is. Make it way worse first. Oh. So you take this little peaky filter and crank it all the way up. Now this will start sounding bad for people, but you'll hear as I sweep this and I start talking, you're going to hear a very pronounced change in just that frequency range as I sweep it up and down. At some point, while you're moving that back and forth, you'll hear the thing that you don't like and it'll be way worse.
Yeah.
And then instead of going, all over the place, okay, it's way worse here, I hate this, just drop it down a little bit below and then just spread it out just a little bit. And now you've likely taken care of the thing you didn't like without ending up with, one here and this and all the stuff that ends up going everywhere and
all over the place.
You've cut and you've removed and added and always cut. It's easier to pull things out and just use that little spike and drag it along. And if you start with just that, EQ can be so much less scary because who cares where any of those dots are? You found a thing you didn't like and you removed it. And now your voice sounds a little bit more like how you want it to be.
And I'm going to just point one more thing out just because you have the app open right now is if you are using something like this specifically, but if you're using it in that bottom right-hand corner,
I don't know if they'll see it because
they may
do you
not
guys have a view that doesn't have the camera there?
Maybe you can remove
I'll let go of my mouse here and they can try?
Yeah, we can try. We can try. It should
It's
be.
okay.
Can we hide the mixer shot or hide us as well?
No.
Is that possible?
No, there's another one.
It's okay. If not,
we'll see. We'll see.
It's possible.
Just hit the hide. We're gonna wait. We'll
We'll
play
have
the
some,
Jeopardy theme song.
We got some nice comment. We got
cool.
from Whip Replacement.
There we go.
Best way to fix my voice is to mute the mic. It feels bad.
that's a fail.
Man,
Yeah,
I know. People have to get used to hearing themselves. It's a real challenge,
I
right?
think that's,
People are hard on themselves. And it's like
it's-
you don't sound as weird to other people as you think you sound to yourself.
definitely.
You are your own worst critic for sure.
So this bottom right hand corner.
Okay, I'm going to steal the mouse back, but I'm going to
gonna-
try and get. Where am I going? There's 6 monitors in here, and I have to guess how to get back to the monitor I'm on.
It's the one that has the little record button and the play button.
I
so we don't
know.
actually have to
Was
use
I
it.
there? Oh, but I want to show it.
But
Okay, you want to put it on it for me, and then I'll take it.
Actually, I was just about
Okay.
to say. Yeah,
There
we
it
go.
is. It was there. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
So the idea here
So
is
down
basically
here,
that
yeah.
if you wanted to do some EQ sweeping, which is the
I can show them.
thing that Craig was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, just do it.
I'll just do it.
Just
So,
do it.
One of the challenges you often get, and this is sort of the fundamental tenet of why BEACN kind of exists, is like, what are the things that are a challenge and how could we make them easier so somebody spends less time messing around with stuff?
Yeah.
So a typical way often people will try and figure out their sound is they'll make a recording of it in like Audacity or something. They'll play it back and then they'll adjust the filters and okay, now they'll play it back again, right? And I said to Lars, because he's such a smarty pants one day, I said, well, wait a sec. Could we take a recording from the mic and when the user hits the right button, it records it dry, like with nothing on it, and then sends it back through the mic as though it were being talked into in real time so that all these controls would still work while it plays back that file so that it would accomplish 2 things. I don't have to record and play back and record and play back, but also I don't have to talk anymore. Because when you talk, you have a head voice, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Your head is actually resonating with your own voice. So you hear yourself differently than the mic actually hears you.
Yeah.
So we were like, cool, let's put something in. So I can actually make a loop of myself. I'll make a loop of myself right now that is me saying I'm making a loop of myself right now. I'll make a loop of myself right now that is me saying I'm making a loop of myself right now. I'll make a loop of myself right now that is me saying I'm making a loop of myself right now. I'll make a loop of myself right now that is me saying.
You don't have to keep talking, and you can do those peaks and valleys to try to figure out what actually works for you.
Exactly. So as you heard, it was repeating that same sentence, but now I can just sit there and just listen to it and tweak everything till I get it right. And when I know it's right, it's not me being confused by what I hear in my own head. That's how it sounds.
That's how it's going to sound.
That's how it's going to be. So it's funny because a lot of people won't see these little details like this, for 3 months after they own the product. What's this little thing in the corner? Oh, it's this loop back recorder. Like, why didn't you tell me that sooner?
I was just about to say that I needed for 3
Exactly.
Yeah. Does the software work with any microphone?
Yes. So yes and no, depending on. So okay, we'll back up a little bit. The effects that you're hearing right now are built into the microphone. So this is hardware processing. The EQ and all that stuff, you can't just plug another microphone into your computer and have us process it because it relies on the microphone.
And sorry, it's all also happening in real time on the microphone.
Yeah. So the microphone is doing it right now. Our mixing software, this is where you can assign various programs to various outputs and you can do all sorts of mixing and all that stuff. That can work with any hardware that's attached to your computer as long as you have one of the BEACN products. So if you have the mic, you don't need our mixer, the Mix Create. You can actually go into a menu and just say turn on advanced mixing and you'll get all of this stuff. You just have to control it with a mouse or whatever, but you get all of it with the mic. Or if you don't buy the mic and you get the Mix Create, that will activate this software here. And then you can see on this left-hand side, I have this list. And these are all of the hardware inputs that are available to me to be my microphone in the system and still get brought into our control system so that we can then mix stuff and send it out wherever we want.
And I'm also going to use this as an opportunity to for one of the questions that someone asked like way earlier.
Sure.
But can they use, an XLR mic they have sitting around that they've had for a while with BEACN Studio? And
yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you can use
maybe we can go back and
almost any mic, but you can with BEACN Studio, which is kind of right in front of me.
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna hit the thing.
Oh,
and
fine. There you go.
There we go. So with BEACN Studio.
Why is there a BEACN Studio, Greg?
Why is there a BEACN Studio? Because people told us to make a BEACN Studio. Is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
We talked about kind of community engagement and community idea sourcing before.
Yeah.
And this product really happened because of the feedback we got after we released BEACN Mic.
Yeah, it was. I love all the stuff that BEACN Mic does and has on it, but I already invested in this other mic.
Yeah,
I bought an
other
SM7,
thing.
great mic. I bought an RE20, great mic. That's fine if you love it for your voice, but you might still want all the real-time effects and stuff. Now, it gave us a reason to make an audio interface other than just for the sake of having one. You know, we wanted to make sure we brought features to the table.
That will also unlock those same things in the same way that, so if you want the advanced mixing suite and you just want to control it with, you know, your mouse.
Yeah.
You can do that when with BEACN Studio in the same way that you can do it with BEACN Mic.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And the Mix Create product just ends up giving you physical control over knobs and things, which is often a lot easier, you know, to be able to just reach out and grab stuff. But you really get access to,
there's
the stuff.
Yeah, there's more to it, and especially with streaming.
Yeah.
And managing your stream. But we'll probably get into that after.
Yeah. So yes, the EQ is applied on the mic, and if you take the settings are saved in the microphone. When you take it to another computer, it will remember those settings, but you do currently need the software in order to make it be able to communicate with the computer. But like I said a bit earlier, we're working on a firmware that would allow it to be class compliant so that any other computer would just see BEACN Mic as the input and BEACN headphones as the output, like just like their speakers or whatnot.
This is perfect. So that is BEACN Studio question. That isn't I want a super easy dual PC product.
I just wish that you could do that. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
It'd be really nice if a product like BEACN Studio had 2 USB-C connections and those just routed audio between 2 PCs by plugging them in.
Yeah.
Do we have that?
We do have that.
Oh, we have that.
BEACN Studio does that. What's is that Dane? Yeah.
Yes, Dane.
Okay,
Dane's...
so
do we have one out? Do you want to take it out of the box?
You can just
you good?
You rip it out of the box.
Yeah. Okay. Keep talking.
Let's do an unboxing.
Let's do an unboxing. Yeah.
So the whole purpose of BEACN Studio again was to make the mic sound awesome, have you be able to hear it, all those effects, you know, in the box. There you go. See, woo.
Wow.
And to act as a high quality audio interface. Yes, there is support for Mac for all the products. But when we were doing it again, we were looking at like, how do we also bring new features for streamers? And then who are the people who generally already own, nice job,
put it there,
who already own XLR mics? And those people generally are people who have invested already in some audio stuff.
Yeah.
They're way more likely to be like a 2 PC streamer.
Yeah.
You know, they got a whole separate computer for all of the uploading and all that kind of stuff going on. And we have been using for a number of years like an audio cable between the computers, you know, a little 3.5 millimeter stereo cable, one in one direction, one in the other, with ground loop isolators at either end because they buzz because the grounds are different between the 2 computers. And we thought if we could put 2 USB connections on it and we could go, you know, to the main computer with the bulk of the stuff and then go to another computer and send audio back and forth, that would be really cool. And then Rode beat us to the market with their ability to do that on the Rodecaster Pro or the Rode Procaster. I can't remember which one's which.
Yeah,
and we were like, dang it, they beat us. And so theirs was stereo, right? And it's really cool. That sort of mimics the idea of a single stereo feed in one direction or the other.
I'm doing the 3.5. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But what folks had been saying to us, though, is that they would like to offload more stuff to the second PC in terms of programs that would run there, but they want to separate them when they come across. And we thought, well, we know audio stuff. What if we put a driver on the other computer? And then you could have like 4 stereo pairs, or 8 channels as it were, but 4 stereo pairs come back from the other computer, which could carry things like Spotify or Discord or, you know, your stream alerts as separate channels and bring them over to the other computer so you could manage them. So we tried to do what we could do and managed to make that work. And then well, that is it directly with USB-C. So then what we were looking at was, can you pop back to the app for 1 second? And I'm just going to show something cool here.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. And I'm here. Okay. Oh, I was there. Oh, I'll hands off. There we go. Okay, awesome.
Nice switching.
Our mixer software works in such a way that I'm gonna start playing a little bit of music here so that it shows up. But as soon as sound is played from an application, please forgive the music here, but it's just royalty free. Turn this down. No, that one. No, this one. There we go. Okay. As soon as an application plays sound, it actually shows up in this list of applications. So you can see MS Edge now appeared in that. Yeah. And in some of the other products, and this is not a slag at the other companies, it's just the way it was done. We did it with Go XLR. The way to get I can't get to the audio menu. The way to take that program and put it onto the browser hardware device was to right click on the little speaker in the corner of Windows and go into your sound settings menu and then find the program or your mixer, find it, do a drop down from there, and there'd be all these devices, and then you'd select, you know, browser as the output. And we were like, wouldn't it be cooler if by us picking up the application and dragging and dropping it, that it would do that in the background? So we're reaching into Windows now and making that device change for the user in the background. And it just makes it way easier to move things around where you want them.
Yeah.
We do it automatically for a whole ton of things. So like all of the browsers, when you first run audio on Chrome, we'll go to browser. Now, if you don't want it to be on browser, we're not going to force you. You could move it away and it'll stay away. But just for ease of it, you know, all the music programs like Spotify, they automatically show up on music and you can move them away. We troll the Steam database and poor Thomas has to try and keep up with, you know, like 2,000 titles or something that we have on our list now. But generally a game that you play will jump to the game knob right away and you can just start controlling the level. As you guys saw there, obviously I was turning this up and down with Mix Create, so I can do it with my mic with my mouse, or I can do it with the product. Now this is kind of funny because this is awkward for me, so I'm just going to take this knob here that controls browser and I'm just going to drag it over here, and now it's on this side. There we go. And now I have control of it over here, and I can mute stuff and do all those fun things with the controller. So that was my way of sneaking in a feature
I love it.
tick there. Now you see the song ended, and it's going to start the next one or whatever, but the song ended so that the browser actually went away from the applications list because it wasn't playing anymore. So I wanted to just describe that feature to then go back to the 2PC thing we were talking about. So you can flip this off when you want to. We thought to ourselves, if we can do this on the main computer, right? Can we not do that on that second PC that you were talking about? So for Dane, if we could put a little app on that second PC, we could see the programs that are making sound on PC too. And then it will show up, right, on the first computer. And you can control them from there. So now we actually have audio going back and forth between two computers with control over Windows on the other side. So you don't ever have to interact with that second PC. There's no two mouse, two keyboards and all that. You just go, oh yeah, Spotify's playing on my PC too. I bring it in here, I drag it to a knob, and now it's in my mix, and off it goes off to the world. Yeah,
we get a lot of people. They seem to like it.
Yeah, there's one question that I think you can answer nicely for us. Which was someone asked, "Are we sponsoring?"
Are we sponsoring? Wow. Exactly. Yeah. We were actually talking about this earlier. I thought the question would come earlier, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought so.
But we can definitely try and keep this setup.
If you like it?
Yeah, we do like it. We have had it before, and definitely. Since we had problems with the sound before, we can definitely try and keep this setup.
And all of the gear is available.
He's going to tell us what we should make for them.
Oh, right,
my favorite part.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge is.
Yes, the biggest challenge is, and this was actually a question that was asked before by the chat, and that was, are you guys looking into smaller microphones? Maybe wireless microphones, and maybe that will work, with the phones.
We look at things from the perspective of, if we're going to do it, what could we do differently when the audio bar is such that, a ton of processing or a ton of gold plating a connector or something doesn't sort of make the biggest difference, I guess would be the way to say it. So like putting on a lav mic, for example, and then doing a TikTok, it's 10 times better with the lav mic on than it would be if your phone was 10 feet across the room. And there are some good lav mics out there. And we look at it and go, would we need to try and make some expensive lav mic that has all of our processing in it? Like, would it really make it that much better that it's worth that to somebody? Probably not. BEACN Mic and BEACN Studio have two preamps that run at all times, one at a lower gain and one at a high gain, and you basically can't clip the microphone. So when you start screaming, ah! Just to scare you all, it flips to the other preamp, and you can't distort it. It doesn't come out all distorted. That's something that's a real problem with lav mics. So like, oh, maybe we could solve that, right? Or maybe we could bring it into our ecosystem in such a way that I could wear a lav mic right now and also sit at my computer. And then when I decide to get up and like dance or something, we could tell that the signal on this was going down and that the lav mic was still strong and switch automatically to the lav mic and mute this mic. Like, I would think about features like that would help somebody have a better time at doing what they're doing before we would make a mic for the sake of just having a mic that's a certain price or a certain size.
Yeah,
It would have to solve something for somebody, if that example helps.
Yeah, threw me off guard there with the screen.
Fiber coated, yes.
I mean,
yes,
listen,
fiber coated.
Gold-plated. I mean, you know, we do play the game.
Yeah,
you know, we do play the game a bit.
I'm such a fucking nerd. I know, I totally am. Oh, I said I dropped an F-bomb. Sorry, my bad.
It's all good. It's all good.
You didn't even say what they
I know.
said.
I read it and then interpreted it into worse. Yeah.
Craig's kicked off the podcast.
Yeah,
I have to do it by myself now.
Yeah. But less bloatware. Yeah, it's interesting with the bloatware side of things. We really do want to walk that line between somebody having the depth of control they want without having a big scary wall.
Yeah.
So we're also thinking about ways like when you see the software that I was showing, that can be intimidating for people. I get it. Like even the things we've simplified, you know. So we want to try and maybe add things in the future that will make it simpler to start into, and then that becomes more discovery later on of, exactly. Oh, I want to go deeper now. I don't have to start deep.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think that's definitely a good way. But also, again, I think you have like a good community that will help you out with, if you have any questions, you can, again, go to Discord.
Totally.
You're going to have, you know, people helping you out. So it's going to be all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, definitely, we will try it out. I mean, the biggest challenge that we do have, it's, you know, people coming in the studio that don't have the experience to talking directly into the microphone. So that's going to be the biggest problem, and that's why we did switch over.
Whatever do you mean? I have no idea what it's like.
Yeah. So I mean, what would end up happening would be me basically reminding them every minute that, you know, microphone or switching it or whatever. That's something that we had to, you know, do like a basically balance. Like, do we want a better audio, or do we want something that's just gonna run out of the box? And obviously, we do have problems. We did have problems. So we're still looking into it.
We've done lots of videos in the past where you have like a shotgun mic, or, you know, a small diaphragm condenser, really nice like DPA or something that's expensive, but you put it like just there, right? Just look at my armpit. No, but just out of the frame, above each person, and then nobody has to worry about it at all. But you will get more room sound and all those things, and it really just depends on what outcome you want. And if your guests are just going to not behave, then hey, don't force them. It's fine, you know.
Exactly. No, but definitely, we will definitely try it out and see how it goes. And then we do have live streams sometimes where we're standing up, we're building computers or whatever. And we'll obviously have to
tie it to
their neck. That is perfect.
I mean, it is an interesting thing though, like that we talk about someone monitoring their own voice.
Yeah.
And that actually, it does end up being a thing where when you monitor your own voice, you actually, even though a lot of people hate it, they hate hearing themselves, but you learn mic technique from doing it. So I would be able to hear myself, you know, I would know that if I sat back here and I just started doing this and I had my headphones on, it would sound worse to me. Right.
Yeah.
So you know,
away,
okay, I have to correct. So I have to correct. So that is something we always say to people, like, if you're just starting and you want to learn the most that you possibly can about your own voice, just give monitoring a try.
Yeah.
With anything.
It's awkward and you'll hate it, and then you'll get used to it, and then you'll probably not want to do it. Or you'll probably not want to turn it off.
I can't do it
later.
without. I can't do calls like, this is weird right now. To
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
like yes.
Oh, hey, speaking of
for us,
Linux.
Yeah, I know.
There was a question just up there about do you need to be a streamer? And no, the answer is no. It's funny, we get people who use them because they just want to chat on Teams at work and have good sound, and then you always get the thing of the person joins the call and there's like 10 people in the Teams call, and the one person has a background that's like kind of like this or has lights or whatever. They're like, you're a YouTuber, you know, whatever. But like people notice right away when your mic sounds really good. It's immediate that people recognize what's going on. And there's a funny little one, little anecdote about gaming that we've heard back from people, and it's good or bad, take it for what it is. We've had people say, you know, I jumped into a Valorant game the other day after I got my BEACN mic, and my mic sounded so good that every time I told this team to do something, they all just did it. And it was like, amazing. The person with the best mic wins, you know, and it was just one of those, that person must be a streamer. They must be like world famous or something. They sound great. I'll follow them. And of course, like, the person has no clue what they're doing. But,
so officially, unofficially, BEACN mic gives higher FPS.
Higher FPS.
Do you happen to know any third-party shock mount
I found a couple on like Amazon, whatever. I would like to make one at some point, but
is that something that
I'm only the boss. I can't make us do one.
Yeah.
It's really just about whether or not the timing and the economics of it all works out for us versus whatever else we'd make. But the mic is internally shock mounted, but yes, absolutely there's handling noise on any mic that you get. So I found that there are some you can buy. I can't remember the exact diameter of the mic, but it was some number of millimeters, and it was one of the ones that kind of you squeeze together the middle clamp so it was more adjustable, and then would clamp down on the mic and suspend it in the stuff. The only downside to trying to fit something like that into a third-party one is that they're often not meant for the weight. So the weight of the mic will sort of push the elastic band parts down inside, and it might hit the edge of the rings that suspend the mic in place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a great idea too, though. If there was something we could do about, helping people with 3D printed designs. I mean, we do that. We work with our ambassador community to make 3D printing schematics for different things like mounts for us.
Yeah.
One thing I'll also say just about I know someone mentioned in the chat about the unboxing, and it was pretty apparent that it's not using, there's no shock mount. We also don't have something like the expander dialed in specifically for, me sitting here and streaming, for example. But yeah, I mean, it's something we should actually. That's a great idea. We should look into exploring that.
Been
a 3D printing
for a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's
we love that kind of thing because yes, we can go out and source one and make one, and we might still or whatever. But if somebody can make one their own and then come share it in the Discord, like that's just cool. I don't know, it's just fun.
That sounds great.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, I'm thinking we do a competition.
Yeah, cool.
So
give
we
some
talked
things
about
away.
It. Yeah, exactly. We talked about it a little bit earlier, and we're gonna go ahead and give out a kit. And the person who gets it can choose a little bit.
We always, when we do sort of a setup for people, we always include a BEACN Mix Create, so you can get all that control, the mic stand, and then we like people to choose between a BEACN mic and the BEACN Studio, because if you already have a mic you love, then you should have a BEACN Studio. If you have a mic that you'd like to exchange out because you want to try this, grab a BEACN mic. If you don't have a BEACN mic, grab a BEACN mic.
Exactly.
We just give you the choice, and then we always like to, for any giveaway winner, to connect you and get a one-on-one setup call with our support guy, Thomas. It's a really great way to have like a half an hour or 40 minutes to sit on a call with a person and have them help guide you through anything you might be a little uncertain about or a little nervous about. There is a little bit of a learning curve, and often we find that at the end of that call, people feel so much more comfortable. Like, okay, I'm in it now. I want to keep it and I want to keep going. So yeah, we'll include that as well.
And no, we won't do double or nothing. I'm not doing that again. I already did that
again.
Oh yeah, we did it. I'm still having nightmares about that. No, yeah, it was terrible. It was a terrible idea. Someone in the chat was like double or nothing, and I think the live stream was with the Corsair.
Yeah, and
we're giving out a SSD, M2 SSD, like 8 terabyte or something, like super expensive. And he was like, "Yeah, let's fucking do it," and we did it, and it ended up being nothing, and I just felt so bad.
Right?
For the,
I mean, that's the risk, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it sounds great until nobody wins.
Exactly, it sounds great, and then all of a sudden no one wins, and it was just, it was glorious. It was not glorious. Let me tell you.
Someone said double or double.
Couldn't sleep. I literally couldn't sleep.
Double or double, which is basically a Canadian coffee, a Canadian coffee order at Tim Hortons.
That's the
double.
Oh my
god,
yeah.
It was. It was terrible. It was terrible. I cannot do it again. I cannot do it. I don't think like my conscience can do it. It's too much. It's too much.
So how do you do giveaways? Yeah.
Well, we do have a Gleam link, so we can actually activate that right now. So you register on gleam.io. It's a separate competition.
There it is. Cool.
Right over there.
I promise I won't enter.
And then we have our Wheel of Fortune, developed by a member, Hanon Tech. Shoutouts. So we'll put all the nicknames into the wheel, and then it will randomize a winner.
Cool.
And,
so we just give it some time and talk about other things until it's
exactly.
ready.
So people will have some time to register. We'll probably do the giveaway after the drop of the campaign. Yeah,
sure.
And yeah, we'll just take some more questions.
Yeah.
If you
Anything else
guys,
you'd like to know?
I actually thought we would have more, Canadian Swedish question going on by now. But
yeah, you want to know more about us personally? You want to know more about Canada? Yeah,
but yeah, no, keep on going with the BEACN question. It's great.
Shy
definitely.
after Canada beat Sweden.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
We're sorry.
What do Canada and USA have in common? The English language.
Thank you. That was so diplomatic of you.
That's what we have in common. No, I mean, we have a ton of friends down there. Same landmass, perfect.
Yeah.
No, we've got a lot in common with some folks, and
not as much with
others. And I think that's probably okay.
Yeah,
right?
at the border. Yeah, milk in a bag. Do all Canadians speak French? No, they don't. I don't. He does. So there you go.
Canadien pas français.
So there you go.
All right, yeah, there we go.
I got like Pig Latin, maybe.
Sorry if my mom's watching. I actually am sorry. She hates it when I swear in French.
What's the next product to launch? Tell us all your secrets.
Okay, well, let's see. So we can infer some things. Let's see.
One.
Okay.
Actually, no, don't infer anything.
I'm in charge.
Please don't.
I'm not going to. I think what we enjoy is that we think we can make mics sound better in various places. And so you kind of said, oh, well, hey, what about something smaller, something different? So we are still going to be continuing down this path of like, where are microphones that we can help? And I think that's sort of the best I can give you.
Yeah. So milk in a bag, yes, mostly in Ontario.
Yeah, it's not a West Coast thing for sure.
Ontario and Quebec, I guess.
You get like a milk in a plastic bag, and then you put it in a jug, and you cut the corner off with the scissors, and you pour it out of this plastic bag. Yeah, it's kind of strange.
The best Canadian beer. What's your favorite?
There's so many microbrews and small things now that like it would be like pick your favorite local beer from a pub or whatever.
What's your favorite kind of like well-known one?
Because like the big ones, they're not that good.
Well, no, like Molson is not good.
No,
just
exactly.
in general.
Like Labatt Blue, like no, they're not good.
I don't know.
What's big enough that somebody might have seen it outside of the country?
It feels like a riddle.
It is. Yeah. I know. Yeah. We'll think on that one.
Yeah. Tobogganing. I go every winter, multiple times, probably sometimes multiple times a day. Where I live in Edmonton, Alberta, is quite cold, like minus 40 Celsius kind of thing in the winter.
Like freeze your eyebrows off, kind of.
Yeah, not off. They just freeze your eyes shut.
Yeah.
And then and you guys almost never.
Yeah. We fairly similar climate, I think, to here, where like if it's minus 10, it's cold, and we get snow on the ground sometimes for like a couple of days, and then it goes away, and then maybe a few weeks later we get a bit more. We don't get snow for the whole winter kind of thing, but we're wimps as well. So when we get 20 centimeters of snow and they close all the schools and everybody goes tobogganing for the day, so we definitely do that.
How do we come up with the color for the mics? I mean, we really wanted to match the most common setups that we saw, really.
Except not be black.
Except not be black.
So we're frustratingly not black when it comes to matching colors to things.
Technically, the color itself is called anthracite.
Yeah.
So it's a very, 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 very dark blue.
Yeah. The stand is black because we knew that we would want to match it with other microphones that are already black, right? So,
but it's very
it's complementary, but we
you can definitely see it.
Yeah. So it's got a bit of a blue tinge.
And then the light is not like stark white, but
not the browny white.
But it's not that kind of creamy white like my shoes are.
There you go. Those are just dirty.
But careful. Right. We wanted to make sure that it matched a number of setups. I mean, my PC is a full white build, and now getting to have a full white setup is amazing. And we saw from a lot of people, really, like when we were looking at it, that we didn't. I guess the thing was we didn't want to leave anyone out.
Yeah, it's like people who wanted white really wanted it, but they're definitely a smaller group than the people who want something dark.
Yeah.
Do you use the metric system? Kind of. It's pretty funny.
It's a weird question. It's not an easy question to answer.
Officially, yes. If you ask me how far something is to drive, I'll probably start with the number of hours it takes to get there before I tell you how many kilometers it is. But I will measure things in feet for distance when I'm dealing with things like construction. It'll be like if I'm building a table, it's feet and inches. If it's like the length of a swimming pool, it's meters. But if it's the depth of the swimming pool, it's 10 feet. It's really it's all over the place. We buy gasoline in liters, not gallons. It's kind of all over the place.
We're a bad Commonwealth child.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
More pop filter colors. So I mean, right now you're seeing
it's supposed to be here because the fan makes noise if I pull it out.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Don't do it. He did it. It's fine. Hopefully the noise suppression.
Yep.
But does everyone hear it? It'll take a minute. Yeah. It'll take a minute.
Yeah, I was just about to.
They'll all have to adjust independently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ooh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, there was another one that was just up a little bit, and
10 milk bags.
Oh yeah, the pulp filter colors. I mean,
yes.
we've got the 3 here. The really interesting thing. I mean, can I say a bit of how the sausage is made?
Oh sure,
so, so to speak. So one of the things with getting new pop filters and new colors done, we got a bunch of them, like a ton of them done, and looked at them and tested them and put them on a windowsill to see how they bleached.
The first
after a certain amount of time, they bleached. But then, like we had a white one, right, for a full white setup. The problem is that, and this is kind of gross, but like when you're so close to something and you're talking to it all the time, or talking into it all the time, it will, if it's white, it will start to change colors a bit.
Yeah,
right.
It gets dirty
because of proximity. Yeah. So when we look to get a new color done, the minimum order quantities to get those things made are so high that they like outstrip what we would actually kind of need.
Well, it outstrips the number of mics that we order.
Exactly.
By a lot.
Exactly.
So you're like, do you want 20 million of these? And you're like, well, kind of no. Like, we have like, like 1,000 of each, and like, nope, you got to order these. So we really had to just kind of restrict how many we could offer. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's cool ones. I mean, there are ones like we had a few that were like pink, and we only had a few of them, and so they went out to a few people. So you might see them out in the wild.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And they're pink, and it really does look quite nice. But when we had to sit down, I remember I was out in the Victoria office actually.
Oh yeah.
And we had to sit down and decide what are the two.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Like, how did you actually?
It was tough. We did a poll on our Discord.
Yep.
And so we sort of had two
blue?
different chunks of the Discord where we do have some kind of closed beta testing and some kind of private folks that we run things. So we ran that through them first. It's like vote for what you want, and red and pink were tied, and purple was in the lead every time. So we're like, okay, we're doing purple.
Yeah.
Then with the red and the pink, it was really just like, what do we pick? And eventually just sort of picked the red. And
one of our main brand colors is red.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, okay, that just makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
It makes flag one. That's an interesting idea.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Maybe a custom build.
No, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, are they washable?
Blue and yellow,
Yes, and like no, like don't throw them in a washing machine.
Yeah, but you can like wash them in the sink gently with some mild soap or whatever.
Generally,
let
let them air dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll be fine. Yep.
Purple is best for sure. Yeah, I have to agree.
It does look nice.
Yeah, it does look nice.
It looks nice on both of them, actually.
I was just about to say, it works so great on the on both the black and the white. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. Yes, it's 5 minutes until we do the campaign prices. I'm actually gonna start prepping that.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you want to speak to Studio on Mac and Windows?
Yeah. So like, if you're talking about you have like a Mac and a PC, I would suggest putting the BEACN Studio on the PC for the amount of kind of channels and all that kind of stuff it can use, and then putting the second connection on the Mac where you can pull over everything from it. Because the Macs handle the multi-channel thing a little bit differently. We don't have our kind of little secondary app that lives on the other computer for Mac quite yet, but Mac, because of the nature of the way it handles things, is just a little smoother with getting that going without the app. So that would be the direction I would run it, but you can do it either way. You could run the main app on the Mac and have the little app on the PC. It just can't send the information between Mac and PC right now. All the audio will go, but just not the information.
Is the current public release for Mac including Studio, or is it only the current open beta?
Nope. BEACN Studio is fully supported.
Okay. Yeah. One last thing about Canada that I will answer here because I feel qualified to answer it. Is poutine a thing on the West Coast, or is it just Ontario or Quebec? Keep Ontario out of that, please. They have it on the West Coast. Quebec is the best place to get it because Quebec is francophone, and it's the best place to get it. Now, if you want the very best place, if you're ever visiting Canada and you want the best poutine that you've ever had in your life, Chez Claudette. Go to Chez Claudette. It's just the best one.
somebody right now is prepping a firebomb to throw at Grant's house because they disagree so strongly with that choice.
We all, everyone says the same thing. Like someone joked about that to me the other day. They were like, yeah, everyone says, I know the best place for poutine.
Yeah.
And you're like, you don't.
You don't. Yeah,
I do.
no,
I do. I know the best place. So Claudette, go there.
Yeah.
It's very good.
And you can definitely get poutine on the West Coast, but it's just, I've actually never had like traditional poutine from Montreal or whatever, so I don't know how much different or better it is, but I just know that like cheese and gravy and fries is pretty good. I don't know. Yeah.
USB hub friendly. That's a good question.
Sort of yes and no. We always recommend that when you have a high bandwidth device, like even if that's a webcam or some other product, but you know, multi-channel audio, any of that, that they like to live on their own, you know, USB connections, and that it's way easier to put something like a mouse and keyboard onto a hub.
To be honest, we did actually run into issues with that just before we went live. We tried like an extender, it didn't really work, and now we're having did use ended up using another USB-C cable. That's I think it's 5 meters, so that's
there is
not
a spec for like how long USB can be, and if you get outside that, it does kind of get weird.
I thought it was 16 feet, but I could be wrong about
something like that.
Something like that.
So I would say like as long as you have like a cable that's active and has that power, it shouldn't be any problems. But doing it through a hub might be a little bit risky, as you say.
I've done it through a hub successfully a bunch of times. It's just that sometimes you get a gremlin in the system and you don't know why, and sometimes it's the hub.
Exactly.
And often even between hubs, like one of one brand will work fine and another one of another brand won't have the same stability.
I'm actually sorry about that, about the recent loss for the Leafs.
Oh, are they out now?
They're out. They're out now. Yeah,
they're out.
They're out.
They're out.
They're out to the playoffs.
Sorry.
When using USB connector, do I need to connect it directly to the PC to avoid data loss, or is it okay to use a USB hub sharing the data with other USB devices?
Yeah, so same question. I mean, it's your mileage may vary. So if you do run into weirdness, the hub could be the problem.
Yeah. To be honest, with the microphones right now, we're using the extenders, and that works.
Yeah, and they're fine.
Super good.
Working.
But like extenders into a hub and then that might get a little bit strange.
Exactly.
Linux support. So we did answer this earlier. It is not for lack of understanding that there is a definitely loud minority who want Linux support, but we're just too small to support a Linux
Would you
build.
guys be open if someone would try and do it open source or similar? Like
it's a bit of a tricky one where we support the idea, and then there's the sort of, we put all this effort into trying to make these cool things happen that in a way you do want to protect them and say we don't want the other guys to just be able to pick them up, even though it is funny when we make a feature and then 2 months later it's like, look, this company has it now. And it's like, all right, whatever. It's still fun to be the leaders, right? Like you're still out front going, well, how are we going to forge new ground and all that? It's great.
Definitely.
But I'm not against it at all. I think it's just a matter of trying to figure out the how of it, and how much of it could we reasonably open source without giving away so much that like, our disadvantage is our size, in the sense that we are the little bug that, a giant company comes along and crushes. So is that just putting us at more risk of running into that kind of thing? And we wouldn't want to do that because we want to keep doing this for people.
There was a post the other day, and we don't, it's just to be very clear, we don't officially support this. But somebody did post in our Reddit the other day, our subreddit, about how they had it set up with a Linux setup. And I'm not going to say exactly how it was because I don't fully know and we didn't test it or anything. But if you wanted to learn a little bit about that, you might actually be able to go to the subreddit and learn something.
Okay.
Right. Great segue.
That's what they pay me the big bucks.
I love
for.
it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we have someone in the chat asking as well. Yes, we do have drops. They are ready to be shown. So let's just do it right away. You can link Thrill House, please, to the drops. It's the regular.
Right? See, he said "whoa" too, right? That's woo.
It is the regular product pages. So use as usual, you guys need to be logged in on inet.se. The prices will be until 23.59. And please, obviously you should buy it if you like the product, but just think one more time so we don't get extra returns and whatnot. All right, so here's the product. So basically we're doing almost everything.
We're doing everything.
That's wild.
Pop filter or the
colors.
I think so, right? Yeah.
So
wow, that's cool.
that's amazing. I guess the best way is for you guys to talk about them.
Usually
I go through them, but
there's one really interesting thing I just want to say about this.
We almost held hands there.
We could.
Amazing.
There's one thing I want to say about this, which is really interesting, is that this is like one of the. I know this is going to sound like a salesy thing, but it's just the truth. This is one of the first times that BEACN Studio actually will be
on sale.
So like literally.
That is the best price I have ever seen.
World first.
Yeah,
the universe. What we generally do,
right? World premiere.
Oh yeah,
world premiere. Yeah. I love that you love that reference.
Yeah.
we don't normally put products that are new on sale for a decent chunk of time, like most of a year, and we always feel like. You never want to punish the person who was excited to get it on day one by saying, "Hey, great, thanks," but 2 months later it's 30% off, and you're like, "Wait, what about me?" So we always try and at least make a gap long enough that feels reasonable before we put something on sale like that. People may have a question a bit like, what's this BEACN Mix, and why have you been talking about BEACN Mix Create? Because there's two products that look somewhat similar to each other.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
BEACN Mix Create has all of the mixers and the routing and the sub mixing, where you can hear something completely different than your stream hears, and all these things in it. It's more robust but more complex at the same time. BEACN Mix, we actually like to call it like a Windows audio mixer, or just like a computer audio mixer. Or controller. Controller, I guess, is probably a better word. So you imagine your little mixer that's in the Windows in the bottom right hand corner there. BEACN Mix can see all those programs, and you can drag them to one of 4 different knobs, but that's not creating virtual audio devices and doing all of that kind of stuff. It's just allowing you to say, hey, I want to put my game on this knob, and I want to be able to control my game with that knob, and I want to be able to mute it by pushing the button, and that's it. But for a lot of people, it's a product that they go, seems kind of interesting. I know it's a pain in the butt to Alt-Tab out of my game all the time. It might be cool to have it on my desk. And then they have one for 2 weeks, and then you try and take it away, and they're like,
nope.
Because you get so used to it so fast. It's just one of those things you don't really know how the problem is until you deal with it.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things too where someone asked much earlier, but is there anything for people who aren't necessarily streamers? This is one that I'm not a streamer, but I use BEACN gear, and I'm on calls like every day.
Yeah.
That's what I do most of my day, especially working remote.
Yeah.
And so having that at my desk, just to be able to make small tweaks, mute myself when I'm going to cough or something, and do that kind of stuff. It really is like the other day when I was traveling and couldn't use it, it was like, man, doing this stuff sucks. It's just, I'm not using it. I just don't like it.
Now I'm a privileged little baby.
Well, that's what I've lived my whole life, right? Privileged little baby.
Is there any feature for the Mix rather than Create? So the Create has a ton of features that the Mix doesn't have. There are no features that the Mix has that the Create does not have. There's a feature that we didn't show, which I think is quite interesting, that is on both of these products. Somebody said, how do you deal with speakers? And I think it's really interesting. Can we pop to the software for a quick second?
Yeah, sure. Are you ready? Thank you.
There we go. I'll wait until it comes back to the land of me controlling it.
I guess you don't need to, because you can just.
I can explain it, but Can we get the mouse back on the screen? Is that possible? Yes. Thank you very much. Cool. You'll notice in here there's this thing that says personal mix device. And when we were in the process of developing, it was one of the things that really I became passionate about and had to play the boss card to be like, I want this feature in the product. Was often I'm listening through headphones for some period of time, and then I'm listening through speakers for some other period of time, and I want to be able to switch back and forth between them easily, and I don't want to have to go into my system settings and change those things to come out. So we actually let you choose 2 different devices from the drop-down list of every device that makes sound on your computer.
All right.
And you select one for one section and one for the other, and then you can literally just toggle back and forth between them, and all of your output, whatever the mixes are, however it is, all of your main sound will go out from the device that you have selected. If you have the BEACN Mix Create, you can pop it back off this now. If you have the BEACN Mix Create, you can literally just press and hold one of the buttons, and as you press and hold it, BEACN Mix works the same way. It will just switch them for you from the button, so you don't have to go into the software to do it. So we got a
great ton of questions right now. Many people are very interested in buying them. How many of you guys are gonna buy the microphone? I would like to know.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Is it USB source only for the controller?
Like the audio sources, coming out, like making noise.
That's how I interpret.
That's what I was thinking too for that one. I mean, it's anything. Well, the most simple way of saying it is anything that's making sound in Windows. You can assign it to a channel and control that audio, that sound, using BEACN Mix or BEACN Mix Create.
Yeah. And any hardware device that is connected to the computer will show up and can be chosen as one of your mic devices. Or we have an aux 1 or aux 2 that kind of I haven't showed that you can add on.
Oh, right.
So if somebody has like
alerts.
Alerts or something like that coming from another thing, or we have some musicians who say, like, you know, they stream and they play games a bit, and then they end up, you know, doing something with the band. They'll maybe mix the band on a little like physical mixer, you know, a real world mixer, and then they'll bring that into the computer as just a stereo mix of the band, and you could select that on a different channel and select that piece of hardware and use it the same way.
All right.
Yeah. Do I need a studio to become pro? No. As stated earlier, BEACN gear improves FPS.
Yeah, FPS. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 0.001. Yeah.
No.
Does the software have any sort of soundboard built in, so I can annoy my mates in Discord?
No, we don't. But we do work with like any of the soundboards that, you know, work with Stream Deck or with like a MIDI controller or any of that stuff. As long as it has an audio output that the computer can see, you could then bring it into a knob on the software.
With something like voice mod, for example, you also have to make sure though that for BEACN mic that it's set to that you have the version of voice mod that allows you to set the sample rate.
The latest one,
the latest one, right? Because that's the biggest issue that people had before with voice mod.
Yeah.
Of course, you can't monitor that stuff in real time. If you're using something like that, but you know, you've got the Stream Deck over there.
Yeah.
You have something like that, and you have it set to voice mod to use a sample or your to change your voice or anything like that. And you can do that. You just have to know that it's happening, and you can't monitor it in real time. You could technically switch to your audience mix, listen to that,
it a bit,
hear yourself with latency, but it is an option, I suppose.
As a Stream Deck would have to use as an autopilot. Oh, I know. It'd be so cool if you could like just tie into games and things with it. It's just beyond the scope of what we're kind of able to do right now.
We've had some cool conversations with game developers about what we could do, but there's nothing
that's
specific.
That's actually an interesting question. Can I connect the mic to my work laptop that does not have admin rights?
You can connect it to it. The software obviously wouldn't let you install it unless the admins. We do run into that every once in a while where people say, "Oh, I can't use it because my computer at work is so locked down."
Exactly,
if and when later on this year or in a few months, if we release the class compliant version of the software, you could change it to class compliant mode at home and then take it to work, and it will remember the settings, and then it will just be a mic, and it will just go into the computer and work fine. It's just not quite yet.
No, absolutely. Does it remember the process, the game, for example, you set on a specific knob after restarting the PC?
Yeah, so there's, we can do the software again for a quick second if you want.
I think our moderator is on bathroom break.
Fair enough. That is okay.
Yeah.
That is fine.
Yeah, well, but...
in the software, you'll see that there are profiles that you can save for the entire mixer setup. So you can switch back and forth between any number of configurations that you want.
Yeah.
Actually, it's maybe a good time to drop a little bit about our latest update, because we're always bringing features to the table, and trying to make things better. And it's interesting that nobody's asked it so far, but we can answer the question anyways. That for 2 years, people have asked us for OBS integration and Stream Deck integration. And we say...
Sorry, before you go, because I've seen it scroll up 2 or 3 times. I just want to make sure I answer it. BEACN mic does not come with
does not come with the stand, yes.
BEACN mic stand is available separately.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that very clear for anyone looking at the drop right now.
And it'll thread onto any other stand, that's a regular mic stand as well. But
picture.
Oh yeah, good call.
Oh, the back of BEACN mic.
There we go.
That's all. It all exploded. Yeah.
I'll let you continue on.
So folks have asked for OBS integration and Stream Deck integration, and we always ask like, well, what do you mean by that? And they're like, well, integration. You go, yeah, but what do you want it to do? And we finally kind of landed on this thing where the production value that we can try and increase for somebody is if you can do a wholesale change of your video and all your overlays and everything via OBS with a hotkey, wouldn't it be cool if you could also with a hotkey change everything about your audio mix at the same time? Because that just feels more pro. And so we decided to put hotkeys into the controls that would then allow somebody to tie a certain profile from their mixer to a hotkey that then they could send off at the same time as their OBS change. And when we first started doing it, we realized that we needed to go further to make it feel right. And so what we had been testing is, you know, okay, say I'm playing a game and my music's at 20% and the game is at 50%. I'm talking, and then I want to go AFK and I have a scene for AFK. I might want that music to go to 80% and get really loud and mute a bunch of other things. If it just jumps from 20% to 80%, just bam, it's just like, holy, you know, whatever. So we realized we had to put crossfading into the system so that when you change between profiles, it smoothly glides the levels from one to the other. Those are the kinds of features we love putting in that are like, it's a feeling. It's not necessarily the thing that somebody would immediately call out as like, wow, your stream sounds so much better. It's not like going from a bad mic to a good mic or whatever it is. But when they sit there and they watch it, it's just smooth and it's just nice and it just works. You know?
It just sounds nice.
So those are the things we get excited about.
Your producer buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that sounded really good. Yeah, it was my producer buddy.
Yeah, just you know, back there on the faders.
Back there on the faders, doing the thing.
Amazing. All right, I'm actually gonna start prepping the competition. So
cool.
if you guys wanna be part of that, register right away, and we'll do some drawing. So if you and if you don't feel lucky, you can always buy the product instead.
Hey, there you go. Hey, and by the way, I've seen some people already say they bought the stuff right now. Like, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We literally are the people that you're helping when you buy the stuff. So appreciate it very much.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, and there's another question: why are we visiting Sweden?
We have friends here. So
we have friends here.
Why we're here.
We have friends here now. But we really want to grow here, and we want people to know who we are, and we want to know about them. I mean, it's important for us to be able to understand who is looking for more solutions here and how can we help them. So it's really important to us to kind of meet people where they are. So that's really the reason why we're here.
So we came over, we have our products are distributed in Scandinavia through our friends at Gandalf, and so they supply people like Inet with gear. And so that's how these kinds of things happen is we come over and we hang out with them and you know, we've trained their staff a little bit so they know a bit more about us, and we answer questions and we hang out together, and then we go and we visit.
I mean, we do want
folks like this.
We do want money. We need
we want the money.
Yeah, there you go.
Makes sense.
Well, and as the rest of the world is forming our, you know, Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, new fun time, happy place in the world that maybe some other places aren't quite so happy, and some places don't want to become the 51st state. You know, it's nice to meet new people, so that's great.
I'm just gonna
keep going with that giveaway.
Well, it's amazing. There was something else that I was thinking about. Totally forgotten now. Show me the money. Yes.
Oh, we do have a suggestion form for product ideas. It is
ideas.beacn.com.
There you go. Ideas.beacn.com. We have kind of a list of features and product ideas that people put in, and we kind of let people comment on them, and we pick from those things as we do development.
In fact, we talk about how we just released the hotkeys feature in our public beta. That was a feature that we get to now move from in development to complete because of awesome people that went in and upvoted, and the person, you know, whoever it was that put it in the first time. You know, again, amazing. It's the reason why we get to make cool stuff is because people say,
we have the
Thrill House. Thank you. Once again.
So nice.
Yes.
Culturally, how do you perceive Sweden in contrast to Canada? Because we sometimes compared as relatively close. I think there is a lot in common. Like when somebody's like, oh, it's 4:30, I got to go pick up my kid from school or whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, see you later. You know, like that's the way that we are too. We like to run things that way. I think the thing that's been hard for me to get over was that I always ask people how they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Right, just to a random person in a store or whatever. And then I was talking to Frida earlier, and she's like, generally we would do that like if you're a closer friend or something. It might be a little bit strange to do that to just a random person. And so now I have to bite my tongue and just be like,
come on, it's fine.
hey, and then just stop. Just like,
the other thing I was saying about to Patrick when he was leaving, but basically, you know, he said that we're kind of honorary Swedes now. I mean, it's like we always feel like when we travel and we meet people from other places, you know, we find a lot in common. We feel very like there's this kinship between us. So
I definitely feel the same. So
there's a great question. I mean, about BEACN Studio and Go XLR. It's a great question.
Yeah.
I know the answer is going to be BEACN Studio. It is if you want something really awesome, and that's your choice. Why it's better? I mean, I'm going to let you do this one because, you know, Go XLR.
I'm the first person to tell you not to spend money if you don't need to.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're happy with your Go XLR and it's fine, I wouldn't maybe buy into the doom and gloom of like somehow they're going to blow up tomorrow. Like, yes, there's been a bunch of changes there. Yes, they did lay off, you know, their staffs in Canada and in Denmark. So there is some question as to whether or not that's going to be, you know, supported going forward. I can't comment with any knowledge about it, but you know, if it's not going to turn off tomorrow. So if you're happy with it and you spend a bunch of money on it, then keep it. If you feel like you want to move to something for a specific reason, like you like the idea that the things are a bit separate and you could put them in different places, or you like our 2PC support.
Yeah, 2PC. I mean, there's, you know, submixes was something that came out in the Go XLR beta.
Yep.
I don't know if it ever hit official release,
It
but
might be.
You know, we've had it for quite a while. And we've kept dialing it in. So there's reasons why some people have moved and some people haven't. And you know, it's at this point it's a bit of a preference thing.
Yeah.
And I think we've developed some things that they don't have, and they've developed, and they've have some things that we don't have. So it's really about what you need.
If you heavily rely on the voice effects or the sampler, then we're not the right solution for you because we don't have those things right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like
Great
that.
answer.
Oh, it's the spinning wheel of craziness.
Exactly. I'm just prepping here.
Okay, we see things. Yeah, we're sorry.
Yeah,
we're
no, it's fine. It's fine. That's it's kind of nice actually. Like I for once don't have to, you know, make conversation at the same time as doing the wheel.
Right.
You know,
I mean, we'll talk forever.
That's perfect. But yeah, I think it's been great. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, like why you were here. But I mean, there was obviously a bunch of person who didn't know about you guys, and that's also why we're doing this live stream.
Absolutely,
to, you know,
exactly.
educate and again, I think that's a really nice thing. Like especially for us at Inet, I mean, we will happily help you guys. You know that, but to know that you guys have experts in your Discord that can help with the product, it's really nice to know, because obviously, I mean, we are good with a lot of stuff, but you know, specific products are, you know, not always. It can be hard.
Well,
absolutely.
It's nice too. I mean, I've seen a definitely one name for sure in chat, and someone that is has been a great supporter of BEACN and has been a really helpful part of our community as well. So I mean, like the fact that someone like that is here with us today is very cool.
Definitely, it's amazing.
And, you know, we have specific places in the Discord where someone can go and get community support. Now, we have an official ticketing system within our Discord.
Yeah.
And our support team goes in there and does everything that they need to get you sorted. But we also have community support sections based on the product, based on everything. So, and they're very, very active.
Yeah.
So it's like we're just like, we're so grateful for it. It's incredible. An A. Canada, eh? Oh, sounds good, bud. Sounds good, eh? There you go.
Amazing. All right, let's do the competition.
Okay.
So we have our 588 entries. Let's see here. Visible entries. Let's do a little bit of shuffling. Hopefully you will see your name. Maybe not. Maybe we'll see Craig and Grant.
Yeah, exactly.
I do need more gear.
You do need, amazing. All right. Do you guys want the honor to draw a winner?
Grant, you do it.
It's very easy. You just click on the mouse.
Okay, that's it. All right, here we go.
Good luck, everyone.
Best of luck to everyone.
Okay, Sorry, you need to just
in the middle. Oh, see, I did it wrong. All you have to do is click on the mouse.
It was there,
not
but
like
then it's
right
far
here?
away.
Right here?
Yeah, right there. There we go.
All right. Good luck.
BEACN might be great, but the best thing that to come out of Canada is the
Popcorners. They are good. Actually, they popcorners are good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like Triscuits, but popcorn.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I put it on 1 minute, so we can take some more questions in the meantime. The Go XLR that I have is working fine. Never had any issues, but my friend and
There we
I
go.
bought
Just saved you a bunch of money.
What's that word though? What's that word at the end?
Oh, måndagsexemplar. That's a good. I mean, Monday. The direct translation would be like a Monday product. Basically means that it's not working as intended.
Like a dud.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it would be something that you would send back.
Okay.
But obviously not something that's
A lemon.
happen.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
one too for it. So is it? All right, here we go.
Hjärnan. Yeah, that would be brain in Swedish. The brain.
Okay.
Lemon.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Woo!
Maybe we have you in the chat. Maybe not. Monday example. Yeah, but it feels, like example. Yeah, I get Monday product example. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hjärnan. I think we have him in Twitch actually. It would be interesting to see if he's still here. And if you're still here, it would be super nice to know if you're going to go with a microphone or if you're going to go with the XLR or studio.
Insulin and pineapple pizza. Yeah, both great.
Yep. Both.
Both good. I have nothing else to say.
And
on
pineapple
those.
pizza, I mean, saved a lot of lives.
Yeah, exactly. Insulin's been fine.
Yeah. I think it's because people come to work with the weekend's hangover and doesn't do their best work. It might be. That's
an interesting take.
Yeah, I never really thought about it more. It's just been a thing that we say. But if anyone has more backstory to it, I would.
Jenna,
love to
you
hear
won't regret your mixed create.
Yeah,
You'll love it.
you're
It'll be
gonna
so
love
much
it.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, he went with the.
Also, okay. I'm just gonna ask this before we get into that again.
Yeah, absolutely.
This banana curry pizza. What's this about?
Yes.
Yes.
Fair enough. All right.
It is food and we eat it here.
On we go.
I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff being put on the pizza.
Okay.
I think I got a post from a friend recently, actually, and it was basically like the world, having a war about pineapple on pizza, and then there was like a Swedish pizza with bombed with salad, kebab, fries, tomato.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've tried it and I don't hate it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I think at some point Sweden just went literally bananas on on everything on the pizza.
Frosty and I have differing opinions
we're
on
getting
pineapple on
all
pizza.
sorts
Oh, yeah,
of
no,
wild
definitely.
contention between
Yeah.
the answers.
I mean, we do also have the volcano.
Yeah.
Someone said they want a kebab pizza. We've got like doner pizza in Canada.
Yeah. So doner, you guys have here too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So we have
yeah.
doner meat on pizza is fairly
Yeah,
common.
we also have this. I'm not even sure.
Wow. But it's kind of like you get choices, right? You get to try a bunch of different things.
That's kind of great. That's like it
Show
looks
the
like a
camera so they know what we're looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
how to food, basically.
yeah, vulkanen. You guys know
Okay,
vulkanen,
they know it, yeah.
obviously.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Something.
But that's like something for everybody in there, Just everybody gets a little corner, and it's all different.
That's amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it started. Like, it just felt like, one pizzeria kind of, went all crazy and then everyone
Yeah.
just follow along. Yeah.
I don't know why that sentence.
closest-
That sentence is like so cursed. Pizza's just a hot sandwich. There's something about that is wrong.
I know, but it kind of is. Like if you fold
no,
it,
I
then
know.
the calzone is really a
It's
hot
the same
sandwich.
as like
yeah.
a hot dog, but it
Yeah.
doesn't. It's just a weird. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
we
yeah,
do a Nutella on
yeah.
bread thing.
Yeah.
We call them beaver tails, but it's basically like pizza crust, and you spread sweet stuff on it,
And then you put powdered sugar.
Powdered
we were
sugar,
talking
yeah.
about that. What
Yeah.
would you have if someone said, "What do you eat when you come to Canada? Like, what's the
Yeah.
thing?" Poutine is one of them.
Yeah.
And what else do you eat? I mean, unless you're on the eastern part of Canada, really, like there's like the French Canadian, like the Acadiens, like they have
Yeah.
like very specific food, but elsewhere nothing. syrup.
Yeah, there you go.
But it has to be
real
real
maple
maple syrup.
Yeah.
It can't be the
No, this
stuff
is
that's
fake.
in like butter flavored or
Yeah.
whatever.
Have you guys been to like eating meatballs and stuff like that? No,
Yes,
That's-
yes. We went the other night
Great
to
place
a
in
little
Stockholm.
little place in Stockholm and had meatballs.
Yeah,
They were
all
great.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was nice and
Those had
schnitzel
to
a couple of times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
schnitzel today was
Very good. Yeah,
Like
actually,
yours.
Jen
I ate
gave me a
yours.
hard time because I had schnitzel 2 days in a row, and I'm like, "But schnitzel's delicious. I don't know what do you want from me?"
There's an actual BEACN question in here, so let's
okay.
make sure we answer that one.
We'll sound up for those games that normally refuse to switch up, but once you've already started the game, some
Oh,
games can be a little annoying.
Rockstar games or something.
Something like that. There are some games that can be a challenge. But we've made improvements along the way of sort of how aggressive we can get them to change. But yes, some can be a little bit of a pain, but it's very few. And like actually recently it was Madden 2025 or something.
Yes.
I couldn't get it to move from one knob to another. And I mean, but you know, to put it in perspective, somebody wrote that on the Discord, and I went and bought the game and tried it out for a few hours and couldn't replicate the thing they were having the problem with because it was intermittent. And but hey, we tried our best to find it, and we'll it gave me an excuse to play video games at work for a couple of hours until the return window closed, and then I returned it because I didn't want to own it. But it was
that
was
sounds
frustrating.
maddening.
I am not eating surströmming, or however you pronounce it.
all
I am
right.
not.
We
I am
totally
not
forgot
going
about the
anywhere near that.
We
but-
forgot the
Surströmming.
licorice.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the licorice.
Okay.
I was talking about that. Okay, I don't want to force you guys.
Yeah.
I'll try
obviously.
some.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
try some.
yeah. It's right there. We'll go with
we'll go with this one.
Yeah.
I just say, oh God, yeah. Can you please get us some more water? And
Thank you.
oh man.
Tack.
So obviously we have to have some svenska jävlar.
Sorry, I keep touching this one.
It's I can grab one as well.
You want one as well? Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
like I don't want you guys to do all the suffering. It's not that bad, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe it is that bad. I have no idea.
I don't like black licorice to begin with, but I don't mind salty things, so we'll see. We're just
Okay,
gonna, all right,
it's
let's go
very
for it.
salty.
Holy shit.
Very good. We love,
Wow.
we love the Swedish people.
Okay, this is where I sit calmly for the whole
Those
rest
just
of it.
says, just eat it like a man. Okay. Listen, having emotion about stuff is not manly, so give me a break.
That is not my favorite thing.
The weird thing is that I kind of like it. Like
I do
My wife
understand.
loves it.
yeah.
Loves.
Oh.
Yeah, but she'll
Asking
be
how to clean the microphones as I like put freaking
Yeah.
licorice on the end. Wow, that was intense. Okay.
Yeah, there is another one that's even worse, but I'm not sure. Maybe
I don't know if they were here. No, well, they weren't here, were they?
I mean, we can probably find it. It's somewhere in that pile over there.
I think I
Yeah.
have heart disease. No.
Yeah, it's like if I didn't have some sort of pulmonary problems, it's happening
It's
now.
yeah, Dutch. That's what my wife likes. Has the Dutch ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the guys outside you saw the.
You know what the hilarious thing is they came in and very nicely took our drinks away, but they did not come back
did
with
not
drinks.
come back.
That was absolutely calculated. They're like, I'll just hang
no,
outside the
it wasn't.
door for a minute.
It
Yeah,
was so nice. It honestly, and this is my
I can
wife.
see how you could get used to it.
No,
I
here's the
really do.
thing.
Like,
I just like I give my wife such a hard time
Yeah.
about how she likes it.
oh, okay, thanks.
Dak.
Amazing.
Yeah, I give her such a hard time about how she likes it.
Yeah.
And I'm like 95% sure she's not watching this, so I will say that I actually kind of like that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't leave this room and all of you.
What I didn't
And
miss
no
it.
one, you're all complicit.
Yeah.
You're admitting that it wasn't
I
so
actually
terrible.
kind of liked it.
Yeah. Well, because
I
it's
know.
like that. It's like that intense
kind of,
experience,
just a
right?
little bit.
Yeah.
I understand. This is kind of the equivalent of going from like the snow to the sauna, right?
Yeah.
It's like
exactly.
that wah, to your system. So there you go.
Yeah, we have
Pingvinpåse.
given them some pingvinstång.
Yes.
It was the
That was
candy.
incredible.
Yeah.
Those
I
were really
love
great.
that.
The
Yeah.
new flavor, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was very, very good.
World
Yeah, who
exclusive.
clips this and sends
Yeah,
to his
another
wife?
world-
Somebody better be
another
doing
world
that.
premiere.
Yeah, or at least just
Exactly.
email it to
Two
me.
of them today. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What else are we gonna?
Yeah,
go on.
we do have some other tastes behind you, but I don't know if I can give it to them because it's I think they are a bit old.
Oh, fair enough.
But
Well, you gotta a whole pile for us that we get to take home.
Yeah,
so I'm
definitely.
excited about those.
I mean, you
Live
can,
stream secrets. Yeah, didn't think that one through.
yeah. It was actually a little of the hardcore version. Okay, it's all right. Hardcore is good. We like went further than we needed to.
definitely.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
like I said, there is another version, but I'm not sure where it is actually.
It's like it's even worse, right? Or
Yeah,
not worse.
yeah.
I guess that depends on who you're
and
talking
and that
to.
one is also, I mean, it's candy. It doesn't really go old, but I think that one is also like 1 year old in the due date or whatever. But,
Oh, and yeah, it's
wait.
available on YouTube forever. That's okay.
When you
That's
do
what
something
it
on
is.
the internet, it stays there forever.
The internet is permanent.
The internet's permanent? I thought, can you guys just scrub this?
I have to go delete a bunch of things.
Can someone please email the Google and tell them to please take this down? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to put it on the line. Thank you. Thank you very much for getting me the clip. I'll make that a gif of me going like this over and over again.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, holy shit. That'll be it. Craig's reaction to, going to the doctor. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Craig's reaction to a new product. Holy shit.
Sorry, I missed this. What did the winner pick?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If
I don't think they've chimed in yet.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I
they
don't
were
think
here.
so either. Yeah. We usually don't have the that you need to stay in the chat. Sometimes we do, but
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, for sure.
Obviously, people have other stuff going on.
Of course. It's fine that they abandoned us.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. We're all fine.
Yeah, no, we've had to deal with
Well,
that.
if you didn't win, we do still have the drops going live, and I'm not sure if. You can definitely see stuff being sold.
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
that's nice to see.
But yeah, it's gonna be here until the end of the day.
Wonderful.
And obviously, you still need to be logged in and whatnot.
Yep.
But and if you buy the product and you either way, you should review it.
We
Yes,
really appreciate
please,
reviews for sure.
Yeah,
Reviews are
it's
incredible.
really important for us as well. Like, do review it. Please put a picture in there and whatnot. It's very much appreciated, and you get some points in our customer club as well.
Perfect.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's great.
Achievements going on. So
Yeah.
that's
And
perfect.
Again, if you're somebody who's purchased tonight, thank you very much for supporting us. And if you do have any questions or problems, come to the Discord, come ask us. We're here, we're friendly. We will get you sorted with whatever it is that's going on. And often it just takes 5 or 10 minutes to figure out that one little hurdle, that can be the thing that's in your way, and then you're off to the races.
Yeah, it's massive. So thank you so much for supporting us and supporting Inet with with being here. And yeah, it's awesome.
Super nice. I kind of want to find that candy just for myself.
Oh, okay, fine.
I mean, I'll
He's
try
going to
it.
abandon us.
I'll,
I guess the stream is ours now.
Stream is ours now.
All right.
This is we were making those Wayne's World references before.
Oh yeah, we
but
were
it's when,
party on gosh.
when Wayne leaves. I don't know how many people are
Yeah.
have seen Wayne's World, but he leaves it, and Garth's there by
how
himself.
How old do we make ourselves if we remember Wayne's World? I mean, everybody in the room probably has seen Wayne's World. Have you all seen Wayne's World?
I also learned that you say your age with your birth year.
There we go. Okay.
Of course, party time, perfect. So everyone knows when Wayne abandons Garth, basically walks off the set, and Garth's sitting there and he starts going like this, gets really nervous.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Weird.
It's
Yeah.
actually unopened as well.
Oh wow.
It's definitely old. So I'm just gonna say it. It's old candy, but it's still candy.
Do
so
you want to have it first?
I can definitely
You have it
right?
first.
Yeah,
So is this one worse than that one?
I'm not sure. I think so, but I honestly can't remember. So this is the blackout, super salty.
Look at the eyes
It
on the
also
thing.
says candy for adults, not for children.
Oh my gosh.
So it has very.
There we go. We got a lot of party time, excellent, and swing and stuff going on in there. So I think we've got
Swing.
got
But I'm not sure. Maybe you guys in the chat knows that better. But
Sorry, worse, more intense. Then I won't
Never
say
say
worse.
it's worse.
I meant more intense. We're going to 11 out of 10 now.
Is it
well,
difficult
I'll
to
kind of
ingest?
definitely take the first one. It's definitely. It hits you more.
That's what you want. It's definitely.
This is right. It's okay.
But I would say in one way it hits you more, and then it's gonna cool down a little bit. And if I remember correctly, there's gonna be some cayenne pepper in the middle.
Oh,
like, to
interesting.
kick- yeah.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Is
Okay.
there
Wow.
is there like a screen you cut to if someone throws up?
Yeah, exactly.
Like a technical difficulty?
At least I can go off camera.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't.
it's okay. We can use, do this.
Are they
this one.
smaller at
Yeah,
least?
this is what
Are they
we
smaller? Are they the same size?
Yeah.
They are
God,
a bit
they're
smaller.
hard.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Just do the thing. Pull it out. Okay.
It's not coffee crisp. Yeah, good old coffee crisp.
Oh boy. That's
Yeah.
a lot saltier, but it's almost like a spicy version of salt.
Yeah, exactly. It hits you differently.
Hmm.
And I think, like if it's not your first time, you're probably gonna have like a hard time. You're gonna start coughing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
don't you worry.
Cool.
It's not about the old candy or anything. It's just,
Yeah, if you start coughing,
Grant is good with spicy things, though, so this could be pretty
no, but
good for
then
him.
it's fine. Then it's fine. Yeah, then
Yeah.
it's totally fine. Yeah.
Wow.
it's very good.
It's definitely a thing that I have now tried.
Certainly candy with salt on it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Beacon
Okay.
mic goes straight into your PC. You do not need a sound card. It does all of the audio conversion inside the microphone and all of the processing's in the microphone, and it goes straight out to your computer.
I don't know how to say Mangasan, or the biggest reason I invest in this setup is because of your team's passion and dedication.
Aw.
Thank you so much.
That's super awesome.
That means the world to us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And if I start
Tears are
crying, it
manly.
may or may not be from the comment or what's in my mouth.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Those are tears are manly. Canadians are brave. Yep, this is what we fought for. We're just as brave as our grandparents and stuff. As we sat here
Let's start
and ate some candy.
You're really going to do the comparison?
No, I'm not. This is the end of that part of it. I actually kind of like that
Yeah.
cayenne or what? Yeah,
Mhm.
I do like that part.
Yeah, it definitely comes more later on in the middle. Yeah.
Okay, like it'll get hotter and hotter.
Once
Yeah, I'm
once
streaming
the
this right
salt
now.
goes away, I actually really like this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is,
And it's actually interesting.
Honorary Swede.
Some of the only like hot
Oh,
candies that you get in Canada would be like a cinnamon,
They're cinnamon.
candy.
Yeah.
So it's a different type of
Alright,
spice.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're still sweet and it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, watch him sitting back there like slowly adjusting the white balance on the camera
Just
to
to
make
make
us
us
just
look
like
like-
super red and like, oh my god, we're dying.
Editing smoke
Yeah.
into your ears.
That would be amazing, actually.
Mhm. You got the honorary Swede. Way to go.
I know. I
yeah.
had to give him a little horns on that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Turkish pepper coming up.
What's the best hardware to have for a pure Beacon setup? I mean,
Oh, it's like
well, if it's pure Beacon, then it doesn't have another mic in it. Then it would be Beacon mic and a Beacon Mix Create, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And a
Yeah.
beacon mic stand.
And a mic stand. Yeah. Or a rope that you tie to the ceiling and lower it down when you
We
need
don't
it,
make
you know.
those though. So if you want pure beacon, then
Yeah.
mic stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we also Hilmo. So it's funny. Someone said Hilmo. We have a little mascot, and you'll see him on some of
Yeah,
our
right,
boxes.
Yeah.
He's on the studio box.
Oh yeah, right. No. So this is
Or they.
Hilbo.
Yeah.
And that little mascot. We have little plushies as well. You can actually we don't have any here.
I know. I
that's
meant
too
to bring
bad.
some.
Yeah,
we
I
should
know.
have-
We were hoping we
yeah.
could bring some.
Yeah.
But it's again, it's because we talked about the name of our company is Beacon Hill Innovations.
So the hill part.
The hill part from
needed
Beacon
something.
Hill. Beacon Hill is a park near our office. A lot of the people on the team, just as a quick reminder, have grown up around it and have fond memories of it. So we took that hill from the middle, Hilbo, and that's our little alien plushy mascot.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah.
Take a picture, open big.
Does Beacon Studio work well with the SM7B? Definitely.
Yeah,
we want
absolutely.
the merch. Yeah.
It honestly it sounds great with an SM7B. Yeah, I don't not much else to say on that, but it does
Hilbo's
sound
like
great.
that little plushy thing, the jigger. We call him a funky little alien. And then
That's cute.
we had
like him.
at some point we had somebody, this artist that we were working with, made up like a little dance scene with Hilbo and then all these other little aliens that were just random. I'm going to try and find a photo of that. It's pretty funny. And so we use it as a big mouse mat now.
In regards to the campaign prices, it's everything here. It should be on the regular product ID. So as long as you're logged in, you can actually see the prices. So if you cannot, it's basically.
There it is.
Let's see here. Oh, sorry, I'm actually on the wrong site. It's supposed to be this one where there's only like the campaign prices. So I was on the page with old Beacon
Am I gonna
products. And I think then it's not these two products that's on sale. But yeah, everything else is on sale, so it should be all good. Have you shown them the glorious Inet mouse pads? I have not. Yeah. Maybe we can. Oh yeah, it's this. Yeah, we have. We recently made our own mouse pads. You got
chewing
to
on it.
You got to the middle
of the coughing. Yeah,
and I'm trying to keep it like I'm trying to keep it cool, but I'm not keeping it cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where the coughing starts. I promise again, it's not
the last thing. It's just.
But yeah, it's just we got our community together,
cool.
so it's actually community designs.
That's very cool.
So this one is so just cool. Like like a nice theme purple, and then we have the fan favorites. It's called. It's literally directly translates to the mouse pad, and there's a mouse carpet, I guess.
Nice.
So it's a mouse and a pad. A mouse pad.
There's something about that reminds me of what's the rat, the pedal, the distortion pedal.
Oh, the rat. Yeah, for sure.
Classic distortion pedal.
For those of you who play guitar and know the rat, the distortion pedal.
Yeah, the mouse mat.
That's very cool. Yeah. I like that.
I think there's another one as well, but it's.
They definitely can keep the bikes.
Color as the plushie.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I'm still sucking on mine, so I assume that it's going to come at some point, but I'll just leave it.
Yeah, if you're just going to rip off the band.
Oh, God. When the boss puts their foot in their mouth and has a great clip out there, if you guys want to clip that statement.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
And then send that to my wife. There we go. Okay.
Send that directly to me.
Send it directly to Grant.
I've got a whole
Twitter.
file of things
oh my God.
keep on Craig just in case.
I'm
never know.
I'm good at putting my foot in my mouth to begin with, but that was 100% unintentional. I normally will tee those up on purpose.
Yeah. I was gonna stop you, but I had an idea where it was going, and I did not stop you.
That's the best type of comedy is when you're on the other side of it and you just see it coming and you just let me walk straight into that glass door.
Oh, we already did. We already had some svenska jävlar. I don't know which one you thought was the worst. Like this one kicks more in the beginning.
Yeah, this one was worse at the start.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm still nervous about the kick on this one.
I actually kind of liked the. Yuan, thanks so much for coming in, and thank you. We will.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I think today is our last or tomorrow morning is our last time in Sweden.
Yeah, we go to Denmark for a little bit tomorrow afternoon, and then home.
Copenhagen.
Yeah.
That one was harder at to deal with the salt,
right?
This one was overall the best in my opinion.
I can feel this one cracking in my mouth now, so I know it's just going to release the
spicy, salty
fury
one.
soon.
I think that's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's really it's kind of nice. Yeah, I like it as well. It's the usual one. This one. So there's a chili version of this one as well.
Oh, okay.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, they already got a clip of you. Perfect.
Yeah, excellent.
Incredible. Thank you so much.
We'll definitely we'll see. I'll double check the candy in the background here. There is some candy right there, but I'm pretty sure they're old. So I wouldn't like to they get a bit too stiff, hard. Not the nicest to chew on.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any more questions in regards to BEACN first? And other than that,
you can ask us about us or anything,
or bacon.
Or bacon.
Have some pretty
baking bacon.
Baking bacon is actually the way to go.
Yeah.
Questions about just like stream audio or getting stuff like that set up. What's the best way to do it? I mean, we're happy to answer. It
doesn't have to be about our brand. If we can help, we'll help. If you got questions,
go to order at Tim's. Just a medium coffee, 1 cream. That's it. Yeah.
When will you guys come back? That's an excellent question.
I mean, we've felt the love. I mean, I'd love to come back. I just don't know when.
Yeah.
No answer.
Yeah. We also we're going to we love working with creators, so we're going to probably try and find a creator we can work with, in the local area that can kind of be like a person who can come do these things a bit more often, like sort of friend of BEACN kind of thing. That works really well.
5 days. The excite turn to max. Have you ever used Voicemeeter? We have.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've used Voicemeeter for in situations where we had to do like really crazy routing that we didn't support. So we've been asked a few times, kind of like where the podcast support thing, or like, why don't we say, hey, these are great for podcasting to everybody? And there's a couple of hurdles we'd want to overcome before we really start waving our arms around it. And one of them is when you plug in multiple BEACN mics, they don't automatically listen to each other in the headphones. So you have to figure out a way to get the sound of my mic into both of yours, but not mine into myself, and all this stuff. And so we've used Voicemeeter actually in live situations. Like we did a podcast with a round table of
at PAX East most recently.
PAX East. It was like 8 mics or something, and of course trying to get all those people to be able to hear each other. We needed a third-party solution, and Voicemeter filled the hole for us on that one.
Amazing.
Yeah, but we liked it.
There was, so I'll answer one quickly and I'll give Craig the next one. Is the RGB on the mic just for looks, or is it a mic in like a volume? So,
it's like both.
It's both. And it has, it has function and it also has flare. It's kind of depending on what you want from it.
When I mute, is it on this one?
I think it goes on that one, right?
Which one's it on right now? That's the wrong one. Mic, there it is. It'll only work for his because when 3 mics are connected, it picks the...
Yeah.
It'll mute all these mics, obviously. But when I hit it, watch his over there, it'll turn red. Right. So
it's a function.
Yeah. So, and you can set up, there's a few different ones that like react to the inputting sound or to the level of you speaking, or to the game audio, things like that. There's like a sparkly one. You can turn it off if you don't want it at all, because hey, sometimes
yeah, exactly.
Skip add BEACN devices dialog box. Skip. Add an option to skip it.
Which one? I don't know which dialog box
is that the one maybe to? Or do you mean the one where?
Are all your BEACN devices connected?
Or are they connected? And there is a reason.
We do that primarily because one of the devices has to be the clock master, and has to sort of be the mixing master.
Yeah.
When somebody plugs in a BEACN mic and a BEACN Mix Create, generally we could know that, hey, we're going to use the Mix Create as that source because it becomes the mixing master at that point. But when somebody plugs in a device, we just want to make sure that whatever the person has purchased is showing up for them, so we can say, hey, okay, now we're ready to go. And we make some intelligent decisions under the hood to decide which devices are kind of in control at that point. So that's why we put the pop-up in there.
All right, yeah.
Does it fit on the Corsair LP arm? Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
The two threadings are 3/8 and 5/8 inch, right?
Yeah. So I'll show you something kind of cool. This is
well, actually, you're showing 2 features right now.
I am showing 2 features right now. I'm going to show you 2 features right now. But okay, so I'll try and do it while I also talk into the microphone as I unscrew it here and try not to make too much noise. We have like on our mic arm, we have the sort of smaller, like thicker threads, but narrower gauge, which is the, sometimes people call it Euro threads, but I think that's only North American people calling it that.
Yeah.
But it's the smaller ones. It starts with that, and then you can put like a thread adapter on it to get into a larger hole. But if you look on the bottom of BEACN mic here, I have the full-sized hole, the larger one, but I don't need the adapter because the smaller one is actually inset inside the base of the mic. So these small threads actually go all the way down in there. And then when I thread it on, it goes perfectly flush to the mic stand as it goes on. So that's sort of like feature number 1, which is neat. Then I'll make a bunch of noise and you'll be like, oh, remember that shock mount we were talking about? The second part, though, that's quite neat, and this will work on any mic stand that you attach it to, is that often when you screw your mic down onto a stand, you then want to twist your mic. And as you do it, the mic loosens itself off the stand. It'll get tighter going one way and looser going the other. So we have a second collar on BEACN mic, and once the bottom one is tightened down really tight, this second collar actually can be tightened up. And now my mic is locked in place, but I can loosen that second collar and move my mic back and forth without unscrewing it from the stand. So again, we talked about these the little details that we hope to put in there that just make your life a tiny bit easier. Those kinds of things frustrate the mechanical engineering folks, and then they work out well.
And Frosty was asking about a physical, like a capacitive mute, basically. No.
It's why we put in the hotkeys, though.
Hotkeys will make that happen.
This is where we you die on the hill or you don't. A physical mute button on a mic is convenient, but then every time you touch the mic,
yeah,
ka-clunk, 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 and it's like, that's not really professional. So we we ended up putting a hotkey system in there, so you can mute the mic with a hotkey, which can usually be a lot quieter for someone to do. Is there any plan on making a gaming headset? No comment. But we like putting mics and things.
There's a
That's the only comment.
Swedish saying if anyone is still hesitant to buy, don't just buy it. It's really the best product to a really good price.
There you go.
But
how long is the lower arm?
28 inches.
The lower and upper arm are pretty darn close to the same length. I don't think they're exactly identical.
I think the whole thing in
From
total
here to here.
from there, I think that's about. I think it's about 14 inches. I think.
Yeah,
Because
14 or 16 inches, and then kind of similar for the top.
I think
fully extended,
I
you
think
get
it's 28.
yeah,
fully extended.
28 or 20 or 30 inches
Something like
if
that.
it's fully
We
extended.
do,
Yeah, that's not the exact number, so
Yeah.
apologies for that, but it'll give you kind of an idea of how much it is. And then for anyone that inches,
Sorry, hold
Sorry.
on. Oh God,
centimeters.
you're gonna make me
It's
do
a
it.
lot.
someone can
a
do
lot
it
of centimeters?
online.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Okay, so 12 inches is 30 centimeters. So we go you're like 45 centimeters on the bottom and maybe 50 on the top.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And then
450 millimeters or 500 millimeters. Come on, we did them
Freedom
all.
units.
for anyone that missed it, also we have there is an extension that you can put in there that just allows you to raise it.
Yeah.
or have it down a
And
little bit.
as everybody's making fun of measuring things, I am not going to go to this place right now, but I'm going to give you a recommendation. If you have not seen the YouTube video entitled "Measuring with Bob," you should go and watch the YouTube video called "Measuring with Bob." It's like
I'm intrigued.
it's like a home improvement show where they're teaching you how to measure things
The top.
and just using things that are around. It's really great. Yeah, good for a laugh.
I don't know what the exact. I can't. I'm not going to just spit something out and say
What?
the wrong thing, but I don't know the exact angle. But yes, I mean you can point the top arm down,
Yes, yeah, you can.
but
Yeah.
I just don't remember the exact angle.
I was
Anyway,
gonna just
yes,
jam
the
it,
answer
make it
is
up,
yes.
but yeah, it'll go down. I don't know. And then for people who are putting it above, often you're just going to use the ball mount and flip it upside down.
Yep.
Right, and then you get it to hang that way.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go. Canadian inches. Yeah. No banana for scale. We didn't help at all in that way.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was like 2.5, maybe almost 3 bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many plantains, Grant?
Plantains, one and a half plantains.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. Yes.
Well,
Well,
Yeah.
what do you think?
That's it.
that's it. Bye.
Okay.
See you later. It's been real, everybody.
We do actually have a we need to wrap things up in about 15 minutes, I would say, to not be too late. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, now is the time to ask them. If not, I wanna say big thank you for you guys showing up here today. It's been
Thank you
amazing.
for having us. It's
Yeah.
really fun.
Thank you so much. for
Really
having
nice.
us.
And for answering all the questions. I feel like I'm the sitting in the back seat for once. Kind of nice.
It's really nice. I mean, like it's super clear that you guys have a great community, and we have had really great questions, and people have been very nice. So that's always a bonus. We didn't have anyone being mean or trolling us. So that's again always. I mean, you trolled us harder than anyone else with the candy.
I'm so sorry.
No, thank you so much, and thanks so much to the community for showing up today and being here and listening to us. We really appreciate
It's been
it.
a really nice stream.
It's been
and
awesome.
we finally have some nice audio, guys.
Ice low,
that's
absolutely.
amazing.
The mic arm will absolutely fit a Wave One. Totally go for it.
Yes, definitely. Yep.
Right.
They stand on guard for thee. That's awesome.
It was there was some question up there.
Thank you, everybody in chat, for coming to hang out with us. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
So okay. Yeah.
Now we're just going to awkwardly stare
Just
kind
stare
of at the
at
camera.
things.
Well, Mola decides whether or not he wants to turn it off
okay,
or not.
About
Just
the
like,
customer support, right? Yeah, you do have a customer support on Discord, right? That's
Discord
official?
and through like support at beacn.com.
Yeah.
Like, you can email and everything, but the Discord is kind of a cool, like, we're there, the developers, like the whole company hangs out in the Discord and answers questions and stuff. And then the community supports itself as well, which is really fun.
All right. Is the arm gas lift?
It is not.
It is not
gas
gas
lift.
lift. No, and so you use like a little Allen key, a hex key to like tighten it. And generally you get it to a point where it feels like you can move it around a little and it's not going to flop down on you, or you can just lock it right in place if you really want to.
Yeah. That's perfect.
It got really expensive and really cheap at the same time. There you go.
We're very happy and we're very sorry to hear that.
Oh God, yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you so much again for joining. We will not have a live stream next week because it's a bank holiday in Sweden.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's something about Christ going up into heaven.
Oh yeah, is it
yeah,
Easter?
very
No,
nice.
it's not Easter. Wait, we already didn't we do Easter?
What's that one?
already?
Isn't that the rapture?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, that's
Ascension Day.
Ascension, yeah.
Ascension Day. Happy
Yeah.
Ascension Day,
But
everybody.
yeah, it's
Ascension sounds like a sweet heavy band.
I like the direct Swedish translation more. It's basically Christ. Guys, help me out. How would you Kristi himmelfärd? Christ. Not road to heaven, but the journey to the sky.
Journey. To the sky, nice.
Christ.
Riding a rainbow unicorn. Yeah.
Christ.
Christ flying day. Sky. Okay, this is great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Sky
awesome.
journey.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Sky journey.
Yeah, that's the word I was
my
looking for.
God.
Yeah.
That sounds like like an MMORPG.
Yeah. Both Canadian bacon and Canadian bacon is the correct answer. Although, you know what? I like regular bacon better than Canadian bacon, to be honest. I mean, Canadian bacon's just ham.
Yeah, I mean, it's back bacon, right? It's just a slice. It's
yeah.
a circle of ham. It's good, but it's not anything special.
Skywalker Day. Yeah, that's a lot of great.
Skywalker.
Yeah, love it.
That we can't say that for
So
copyright.
somebody will get sued.
For copyright reasons.
Oh my gosh, that's
well,
funny.
all right, guys. Thank you so much again. And,
thank you.
Yeah, we will hopefully have some nice candies here afterwards as well.
Absolutely.
Lovely.
Thanks.
All right.
Take
guys,
care.
we'll see you in 2 weeks. Cheers.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Amazing. Make sure it's...